Lost in the dark. It's not a good day to be a bad guy.
What's up, metalheads? This is Wayne.
And Michelle.
And we are from the Michigan UFO Sightings and Paranormal Encounters podcast. And you are listening to
Burton and Aaron on the Lost in the Dark podcast.
Raise your horns.
Welcome back, Crip Crow! Welcome back to Lost in the Dark podcast. My name is Burton, and tonight, tonight we got a good one for you all tonight. This is a Lost in the Bog. This is a Lost in the Bog podcast episode. Much more on that coming very, very soon. We've got some things in the works. To be honest, holy shit, my wires are all fucked up. But in any case, Tonight, my friends, we are with the Bog Talk brothers, Mike and Alex. Aaron and I are here to talk about Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, which, for the record, I'm just saying, like, Multiverse Murderfest happened first. If you look at the timeline, that's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm going to say. All right. That's all I'm going to say. But in any case, we're here to talk tonight about this brand new, amazing, incredible, like larger than life Doctor Strange movie. And we're really excited to get into it. But before we do, as always, we have some shout outs. Tonight, I'm going to do it a little different. Tonight, I'm going to start off with the podcasts. First up, our family. Our absolute family. You heard them at the top of this show. You hear them at the top of every show. Of course, I'm talking about the Michigan UFO Sightings and Paranormal Encounters podcast. Coming to you from the glacial dumping ground known as the Michigan Basin. Wayne and Michelle are a Michigan-based husband and wife educator and podcasting duo that examine UFOs and other paranormal topics within Michigan and beyond. Topics include UFOs, the paranormal, conspiracy theories, ghosts, alternative history, the Michigan Dogman, Bigfoot, cryptids, and all things strange and paranormal. Wayne and Michelle are absolutely two of the most wonderful people we have ever met through doing this podcast. I look forward, they don't release, they release episodes, I think, every other week or so, at least during the school year. Cause again, they are educators, they're teachers, educating our, America's students, Michigan students, some of which we've actually had on the show. And they are they are just wonderful, wonderful people. I love them to death. I listen to every single one of their episodes. And that's one thing that I love. They are only in episode 2. They are a pretty fresh podcast, started around a year ago, maybe 2 by now at this point. I can't remember. But they're only in season 2 of their show. And I'm serious. I'm so serious. Every single episode, if I don't already know the guest, then it's a whole new wormhole, rabbit hole for me to go down, new people to follow, new channels to follow on YouTube, like everything. Like it's nothing but a gift that keeps on giving for me personally as a fan. And they absolutely deserve your listen. Like if you are into anything strange and paranormal, please give them a listen. Again, Wayne and Michelle on the Michigan UFO Sightings and Paranormal Encounters podcast. Bit of a mouthful, but it's all right. It's a great title. They got great logos. They have merch. That I already have some t-shirts that are fantastic. I love them. Really good quality stuff and really, really cool designs. So be sure to check out all things Michigan UFO Sightings and Paranormal Encounters podcast. Next up, our brothers all the way from Wisconsin. Join your hosts from Reflection of Flesh, Garrett the Cookie Commander Smith and Mike the Master Milker Sarkovia, as these two best friends try to figure out this thing we call life using friends, guests, and microphones. And I tell you what, I saw Garrett a couple weeks ago playing with Reflection of Flesh up here in Michigan at Papa Pete's. on their current tour with the Convalescence, the Legacy and Blood tour. And Aaron and I went to the show and we were literally listening to to Dipping Milk in Cookies podcast. That's the name of the podcast. I didn't even say it yet. Dipping Milk in Cookies podcast. We were listening to the newest episode on the way to the show, and we walk in and we see we got our tickets. We did the fucking wristband thing, and I don't even think we grabbed a drink yet, and we already saw him, and he was like putting his arms out to us for a big old hug, and it was just so good to see Garrett again. And these guys have a great fucking podcast on Dipping Milk in Cookies. They have it. They do it very differently than us. We don't have any we're trying to think of some. We have been for 6 months now, to be honest. But we've been trying to think of segments or stuff to do on the show, at least when it's just Aaron and I, you know what I mean? Just something to spice it up a little bit, change up the format, play with it a little bit, see what works, what doesn't. And these guys started off with nothing but segments. And two of my favorites are the question of the week, where they go on the Facebook page group and ask multiple questions of the week. And if you respond, they'll give you a shout out and read it on their show, which is an amazing fan interaction segment, in my opinion. And of course, Mike the Master Milker Segovia's Mysterious Mysteries, where at the end of the show they get into paranormal topic of the week that Mike is particularly interested in. And one day we will eventually get something figured out to have a crossover episode, because I cannot wait to pick Mike's brain and talk to Garrett more about heavy metal. So everybody be sure, that will happen hopefully soonish. Maybe. We'll see. Who knows? Touring schedules, podcast schedules, everything's crazy. So it's just all lining things up. But in any case, everybody be sure to check out Reflection of Flesh, the band, and all things Dipping Milk in Cookies podcast. And then last but never least, we got a couple show shout outs. Let me see what we got here. Yep. Okay. First up, my friends, the show I was just talking about with the Convalescence, the Legacy and Blood tour. Aaron and I were in attendance at the first date of the tour at Papa Pete's in Kalamazoo, Michigan. Late April. I want to say late April, early May, somewhere in there. And I don't remember the exact date, but that was the first leg of the tour. Which featured Alika. Second leg of the tour features the breathing process, or second half of the tour. Sorry, not legs, halves. And we're lucky enough to get to see both, because the tour started in Kalamazoo, Michigan, and ends at the Diesel Concert Lounge in New Baltimore, Michigan, Chesterfield, Michigan, whatever. On Saturday, June 4th, it features 8 bands. It's going to be massive. The Legacy and Blood North American Tour, final date, June 4th, Saturday, Diesel Concert Lounge in Michigan. We got Reflection of Flesh will return, 10,000 Teeth, couple bands I'm not really sure. The Breathing Process, Necronomicon, of course, co-headlining with the Convalescence. And this is the big one. Aaron, my co-host, our brothers, Bogwraith. It is the final Bogwraith show ever. This is it for Bogwraith. As heartbreaking as that is, I cannot help but be excited for them to be playing this show, especially with Lost in the Dark alum. And hopefully we get the breathing. We've been in contact with the Breathing Process. Hopefully we get them on maybe after the tour or something. But with Reflection of Flesh, Breathing Process, the Convalescence alone, I'm there. And Bogwraith, and look, I'm not allowed. Look, All right. I'm not allowed to say anything, but they have some really, really special shit planned for their last show ever. So this is going to be a family affair. This is going to be a night of madness, debauchery, chaos, and I absolutely cannot wait. It's literally the next show that I'm going to. So again, Saturday, June 4th at Diesel Concert Lounge, the Legacy and Blood Tour, Convalescence, Necronomicon, Breathing Process, Reflection of Flesh, Balgrave, 10,000 Teeth, and I'm so sorry, you guys. I will get it right on one of these. Mort. Yeah, I got nothing. I can't. Either one of these logos, I can't really read off. I love that so much, though. It's so funny when I can't read a logo because it's rare. But in any case, we got tons of bands that are going to be there. It's going to be an amazing fucking show. This new little microphone decoration that you see here actually came from the first show of that tour. So yes, please be at that show if you can. We would love to see you there. Now, next up on this one is the Michigan Metal Fest happening on Saturday, July 13th. Just announced. So this will be out by now, everybody knows, but just announced for me right now on May 19th. The final headliner was finally announced. So again, at the Layla Auditorium in Battle Creek, Michigan on Saturday, August 13th. I'm just going to read the ones we know. There's over 30 bands playing. So I'm not going to sit here and list them all, but we got our fucking Crypt Crew family and Tyrant. Let's see here. We got F-War, a Guar cover band. Awesome. Coffin Talk, Final Confession, Let It Rap, Casket Robbery. Fuck yeah. Mantra of Mothra. Mantra of Mantra. I said Mothra. Mantra of Mantra, Hunt the Dinosaur, Heartsick, Beyond Threshold, Filth, The Convalescence, I Set My Friends on Fire, Raven Black, Green Jelly, Attila, and the final headliner that was just announced, Oceana, will be at Michigan Metal Fest. We are very, very excited for that this year. Finally coming back this year after everything. One of the best fucking festivals I've ever been to in my entire life. I've never seen anything like it. I've never seen anything like it, especially in Michigan. It's absolutely wonderful, and I cannot recommend everybody be there enough. Victims of the System will be joining us in the crowd for that one, and I'm pretty sure I'll be able to wrangle some of my Bog Wraith buddies and maybe even some Recorrupted buddies to join me for that show. It's going to be a family affair. It's going to be an all-day festival. It starts at noon, and I cannot fucking wait. So that's going to do it for the shout outs. I know it took up a little bit of time. It's been a while since I've done any shout outs. So I felt like getting into it a little bit on this one. But my friends, without further ado, here it is. The Lost in the Bog episode for Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Enjoy. And for the record, Doctor Strange actually throws up the horns at one point in the movie, so I'm just gonna throw that out there. Love you all. Enjoy. Welcome back to Lost in the Bog podcast, my friends.
Welcome.
What up?
The entire family is in the house tonight. And tonight we are here to talk about one thing only, and that is the Multiverse of Madness. I almost said Multiverse Murder Fest.
Almost, dude. I've been doing it since I've been like making the flyers and the posts and
The
stuff.
Multiverse of Murder Fest.
Yes, I said that exact thing like 3 times at work, where like someone will come and be like, "Oh, what did you do this weekend?" I'm like, "Oh, I went and saw Multiverse Murder Fest," and they're like, "What? Shit, no." That's this summer.
We haven't made a movie yet.
Not yet.
Yeah, but we have some ideas.
You imagine?
Honestly, we could make a Multiverse Murder Fest movie, but it would have to be like offshoot, like
Ultimate Showdown,
parody
Ultimate
almost.
Destiny.
Like
dude.
instead of Jason, we've got Chet. It would have to be just like a lateral toss kind of thing where it's like, yeah, you know exactly who we're talking
know
about,
who
but it's
that
not actually
is.
them.
Some like straight to DVD.
Yeah, exactly. Fucking Michael Myers, never heard of him. We've got let's see, like Jet Jaguar or something.
It's not
No,
Punisher
that's already
and
something.
Peacemaker. It's the Piecer and the Punishmaker.
It's-
Fucking wink.
The crocodile from Lake Placid.
Hey, it's not Sora, it's Yazora. Oh wait, that's also a fucking Kingdom Hearts
Oh,
character
yeah,
now.
no, we'd have
God
to-
damn it.
We'd have to nip the Kingdom Hearts characters out because like there's 19 versions of each one of them, and I don't think we could
No, that's
cover our asses enough.
Data Sora. I mean, not Data Sora. It's information Loa.
Aros.
Fucking what the dude from Xehanort used is, I think he actually ended up calling him like Aura or something like that. Just dropped the S from the name and like because it's Xehanort
if
the
we-
band,
if we
like
get- if
he
we get
fucking
into
has
this-
some Kingdom Hearts shit thrown in there.
We get into this.
But yeah,
We're already going into
Yeah,
multiverse,
we're
man.
already going into Murder Fest.
All right.
We got to get
So-
into the madness.
Multiverse of Madness, the most recent entry into the Marvel MCU. What is it now? Like 30 movies?
So we got
The first Sam
Cloak.
Raimi film in
I don't-
years.
I don't think it's only 30. I think if you count the TV shows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
27.
Yeah, this is the 26th film.
Something like that.
26 movies. And it's I don't know, man. It's the first
No,
time
27.
27?
I forgot about
Okay.
Black Widow.
Oh yes.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah. That was a good one.
We're supposed to.
I like that. Movie.
And
We all.
No.
fell short.
Yep. Anyways, that's not what we're here for. So
We're here for Doctor Strange.
it's the first sequel that truly like I don't know.
It just says fuck the setup and is like, yeah, you know what we're
You
doing
know what
here.
we're doing.
Let's
Yeah.
go. It's an adventure.
I mean,
Every
it
Iron
really-
Man movie, he has to like want to become Iron Man again. Every Thor movie, he was until like I don't know, even Ragnarok. It's like, oh, who am I? This one, it's like Doctor
This one-
Strange, bitch. Like,
Well, I would say the first Doctor Strange movie was a massive departure from the standard Marvel movies because I mean, just in the end sequence alone, we had a situation where instead of instead of a big bad destroying a city, the end sequence was literally Doctor Strange putting the city back together.
Yeah, and he didn't really
You know?
defeat anybody either. He literally
Dormammu.
hustled his. He didn't
he
defeat
didn't-
Dormammu.
didn't defeat
He didn't.
Dormammu.
He tricked him.
He bargained. He
that
hustled
was,
him.
That was a
hustled him,
very
straight up.
Doctor
Yeah.
Come to
Who.
bargain.
That was like a very Doctor Who thing. That's what I love about that movie. Is it felt
Yeah.
like a Doctor Who episode.
well,
I love that
that's-
it wasn't just like an infinite battle kind of
Yeah.
thing, because like that's why I like the ending of this one. It's not a fucking
That's-
infinite battle. It's just like them being like, no, this is the consequence of things. Like,
That,
So
Spoiler.
bit-
go ahead, Aaron.
that bit towards the end of the first movie where it's just like repeating everything, like he keeps
Yeah,
kicking his ass.
yeah,
through the-
that was
it's
very
like-
Doctor Who. Yeah,
yeah, but he was
Well, that's
that kind
one
of
thing,
killed the momentum of it for me a little bit.
Alex and
Oh.
I talked about this during our Avengers episode.
mhm.
That the Thor movies were like, oh, magic is just science you don't understand yet. You
And then
know,
Doctor Strange was like,
and then,
fuck you, magic
fuck
is
you,
magic, bitch.
Magic's here. So with
WandaVision.
the first movie,
Yeah,
well,
WandaVision for sure.
But the
It was
first
like,
Doctor
yeah,
Strange
witchcraft.
was straight up like magic is a real thing. Ignore what Thor said, and then Thor even comes in Ragnarok. It's like, oh, Earth has wizards now. Like,
yeah.
so magic is a very real thing. Everyone knows magic is real. And so that's what the first movie had to like really hammer home. This one just kicks in with it. And I think that's because they got away with it. Doctor Strange is cameoed in 4 movies
Yeah.
between
Yeah, this is the 5th
his
movie that
movie-
he's been in.
and that one. And every time magic is more and more of like, oh yeah, I can just fucking dink down dink with my ring and do whatever I want. Yeah, that thing. Yeah. Always gives up the
That's pretty
horns
good,
every once in a while. I'm just like,
Yeah, he always does this every once in a while. That's like his go-to,
He
the
does.
fucking I love you in sign language.
They do the horns once in a while. It was pretty cool.
Yeah.
So this movie
Or
just
whatever it
dives
is,
right
I
in,
don't know.
man. Like,
It literally starts off in a different universe.
Yeah.
It starts at the edge of every universe. That's the
Oh,
weirdest
good point,
part.
good point.
Because that's where
But-
the Book of Ashanti is.
Yes, but it does not. Okay, I guess the point is it does not start with our universe's Doctor Strange. 616 is Doctor Strange.
Yeah, it starts off with what is referred to as Defender Strange.
Defender Strange, and that's
Because he
eight-
looks like the design from the Defenders series.
that's universe 838 or something like that. Like
No, it wasn't 838. 838 was the one that we meet later.
He didn't get numbered.
oh, really?
Yeah, there was no numbering for him yet.
838 was the one that will
With the
dive into
Illuminati.
later. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is
Okay.
no spoiler
Okay.
because it's in the fucking
Yeah,
promos and stuff that the
yeah,
Illuminati
that's-
show up.
Yeah.
That's kind of why I'm like glad we waited a little bit to do this, because like
we
anyone
don't
that's
have to
listening at this
fucking-
point, like listening by this point, if you've listened to anything, if this is the first time you've ever listened to Lost Bog or any Bog Talk or Lost Pod, any of it,
Why'd you start here?
spoilers. Yeah, why'd you start here? Spoilers, massive spoilers behind this and ahead of this. We're gonna talk about
And drop by
everything.
giant spoiler dicks all over your face.
Yeah,
And
we're
also
gonna
go watch our other episodes.
go watch and listen to the other stuff.
They're really cool.
By all means, if you're
Yeah.
like listening to this, like, hey, maybe these guys have an opinion that'll make me want to go see Doctor Strange. Absolutely, you're about to hear four fucking nerds rant about this movie, what we love and don't love about it.
And we all have very different opinions about it, but I think we all agree. Go fucking see it.
Go
yeah.
see it,
Mhm.
and then and
I
then
wanna see
listen
it
to
again.
this on the way home. So
I
you
want to see
go,
it again.
Yeah, I agree with
Yeah.
Mike. Or like, fuck yeah, Burton. Like,
Yeah,
exactly.
exactly.
So
That's
it,
what's
you
the
know,
magic
so,
about this.
that's just a very long-winded way of saying, spoilers ahead, man.
Yeah.
Um.
All of them.
Let's take a ride. So yeah, you
Yeah.
get Defender Strange and young America Chavez,
Chavez, yep.
who is a multiversal powered individual who actually does not have a counterpart within the multiverse, which is very unheard of because usually, well, actually Wanda had plenty. So I was about to say, usually Nexus beings are usually like the ones that like will be like very.
Well,
actually, no, Nexus
no,
means that they'll be
not-
existing in every. So she's like the antithesis of like a Nexus being, basically.
Yeah, I was gonna say because like all the Nexus beings that we know of do have alternates, like Kang,
Yeah. Well,
Wanda, Vision. They all
Yeah,
have
the ones that are like
Thanos.
very like
Captain
detrimental
Marvel
to
in the
life.
comics. I wonder if
Yeah,
they're gonna
Captain
play
Marvel.
that.
There's always like a
Captain
technical
Marvel,
version.
Yeah,
It's because like we got
and now
the
Captain
Marvel in
America
here.
as well
mhm,
with Captain
Agent Carter.
Captain
Yeah.
Carter, yeah.
Well,
Well,
yeah,
with the-
Captain
with the-
Carter. Yeah.
With the Nexus beings thing, at least like from what I remember in the comics, a lot of it was that part of their thing was when they have contact with an Infinity Stone, they can reach out to their multiversal selves, and that a big part of Civil
Oh.
War II is Captain Marvel with the Reality Stone talking to other Captain Marvels in other universes, and then being like, yeah, we kind of had to get pretty fascist pretty quick because like superpowered beings all being gathered on a planet like that make everything get real bad, and she becomes a fascist.
So what you're saying is in the comics they use the Infinity Stones to communicate between universes as opposed to this
Captain
dream
Marvel
walking
does.
thing that they introduced in Doctor Strange, because that's the first time I ever heard of the dream walking shit.
Yeah, well, the dream walking thing I think was kind of like
I think it was a way to simplify it so that
Yeah,
they can
we
make it
don't-
just like
we don't
pertain to
have the
magic.
reality stone,
Well,
which is the
and-
one that
yeah, I
Captain
was gonna
Marvel
say,
used
we-
in the comics. So
Yeah, I was gonna say we already destroyed all the Infinity Stones, so we can't.
no, we didn't.
What?
He didn't destroy them.
You send them back to their timelines.
He
Yeah,
and
that's right.
and even Thanos said he reduced them to atoms.
So technically, yeah, they're just kind of a part of the ether of everything now. Like they're not actually like a solidified thing.
I forgot about that part of
Yeah.
Endgame.
Yep.
So like you can't control them because like they're not tangible.
He does later say, "I used the stones to destroy the stones," but the first thing he says is, "I used the stone. I reduced them to atoms. Gone, reduced to atoms."
Oh, who said you can't use them because they're not tangible? Who said that?
No.
Well, I mean,
That's what I'm saying,
realistically,
is that-
because like if you don't have the
Quantum-
actual like form of it, like yeah, you'd have to
Well, that's
quantum yourself it. But
well,
like
that's what I was
realistically, I think
Oh.
it just kind of goes back into the ethos, just because
Oh.
like infinity and like eternity itself would probably kind of like lay claim to it.
Well, homegirl, ancient one says that the 6 Infinity Stones create what we recognize as the flow of time. So
Right.
they
So
they
it, like-
they have to exist.
Right, so like
they're
it
just-
diffusing into eternity, which is like a living entity, would like
And
make a lot of
just-
sense, honestly.
And just because they're like, if they still exist and they're on a quantum level, it's only a matter of time until somebody finds them. Hashtag quantum, whatever the fuck the next Ant-Man.
Loki
movie is
already-
called.
Quantumanium.
Quantumania.
Loki already did a pretty good job though at reducing the severity of the Infinity Stones when it comes to the multiverse.
Paperweights.
That's true. That is a very good
I
point.
think
That
I
is a
think that
very
was
good
definitely I feel like that part in Loki was them being like, all right, Infinity Saga's done. We're gonna go on from here.
Incursions.
Now we got
Incursions are the
incursions.
next thing.
The actual like Illuminati fucking storyline of the incursions, where they have to be like, hey, listen, sometimes if like we see like another Earth in the sky, we have to kill all of those fucking people, otherwise we all die.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
so-
that's true. That's true. That's in the comics, actually. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's so this new Doctor Strange, back to Doctor Strange now.
Yeah.
So that's we get America Chavez showing
Right off
up.
the bat.
We get the thing Marvel does that I appreciate every time, and like all the big promotional material you see is from the first like 10-15 minutes of the movie minus like 2 or 3 shots for TV
Right.
spots. But like main trailer showed like fucking Shimagorath looking thing, not
The mummy. The mummy
Gargantos.
monster?
Gargantos.
Oh,
whatever.
the squid monster. Oh,
Yeah, fucking flailing around, and Strange just is like
with a saw.
full on, like showing off. Finishes his martini, jumps off the thing, goes full superhero with the cape,
Flips the cape around, and
flips it
fucking,
around, and
From his-
showing
From
what-
his
what
ascot.
crazy.
From his
and she's
little
just sitting there
puppet
like,
square.
this motherfucker had to be such a showboat about it too. Like he couldn't have just
At
done
my
his fucking
wedding.
job.
Yeah.
Get Rachel McAdams again, which I said it as soon as we were done with we were driving off. I don't care for her in movies.
She's so pretty though.
She's kind of drab.
I don't know. I think she's pretty solid. Like
I think
She's
so
a good
pretty.
actress. I
Hey.
just
if you can't think that she is amazing in Mean Girls, then you're lying to yourself.
but everyone was amazing in Mean Girls.
Right,
Can we
but she
find
played
a
a
way-
villain so well.
I've never
She did,
seen
which
it,
is why she's
should
coming
back-
her later.
We should backdoor a way for Mean Girls to actually be in the MCU.
It's just a multiverse where
Yeah.
Christine is still
That was
like
Chris-
16.
That was no, that dude. Think about when that movie came out.
Christine 16.
Dude, it's entirely possible that was Christine was in. That was just her in high school in 616.
Yep.
I think.
I like that. I like this. I like where we're going. Okay.
And that,
I'm
that
game.
she,
I'm in for
I don't
that.
know, maybe like bullied
does
a
someone-
girl.
That genius go to like a normal high school, like in Mean Girls.
That's why she's so mean. She's smarter than everyone.
Oh.
And she
Son
has
of
to
a
hide it to
fucking
be the pretty
bitch.
girl.
Big fish
Alright.
in a little pond.
You all heard it here first. Mean Girls is part of the MCU.
Dude, you give me 2
Tina
movies, I
Fey.
will smash them together every time. I will verse it all.
Tina Fey, get at us. We'll get you fucking into this
Tina Fey,
MCU movies.
welcome to the MCU. Tina
That
Fey.
should-
You're gonna write the Miss Hydra,
That should be
Madam
one of the,
Hydra show.
that should be one
Oh,
of the
shit.
fucking categories in one of the next multiverse of murder fests. Saturday Night Live actors.
That is
Saturday Night
absolute-
Live characters, maybe?
I think
Or
I kind
characters,
of
we
like
could do
I
that.
kind of like actors because they could take on the role of their characters. We're getting off. We're getting off.
I was
That
gonna
could
say
be like
Matt
their weapon of
Foley would
choice.
kill everyone.
Focus in. So yeah, no, Doctor Strange meets up with America Chavez, finds out
Saves
she's
her
got
from
the ability to
Gargantos.
cross.
Well, not exactly. Almost tries to kill her.
No, Defender Strange almost kills her because he thinks he is way more capable of
He said
using
it's
her
the only-
power
It's the only option. He said it's
because
the
those
only option.
monsters are going after her, and you're
Reflect-
like, what the fuck? And the fucking monsters have runes all burned into them and shit
And it was-
going up them.
And what he was saying was literally reflecting what our Strange said when he said one option to Tony Stark. Like it was reflecting that we only had one option at this point. And then the fucking mummy monster, whatever that thing is called, fucking fucks up the Defender Strange, wraps up Chavez, like gets her in like grabs her feet and her hands, and then a fucking portal opens behind her because she doesn't know how to control it yet, much like a mutant. And
But she's not a mutant. She's technically like a fucking alien species.
But her fucking story very much to me reflected a lot of the mutant stories from the X-Men comics and movies, where it's just she's a kid, she has this power and she doesn't know how to control it and she needs help. And so fucking she opens this portal behind her. Strange is still alive enough. He wakes up. He was knocked out for a second to fucking throw some things to where it cuts her free. And then she falls through her portal. So does the monster? I don't know. I think the monster does.
No, they escape the monster that way.
Her and Strange do. Her and Defender Strange do. Defender Strange lands in Earth 616 dead. Apparently.
Can't believe they called it 616.
I know, right?
Now
we arrive in our world.
I've got a thing for that. Don't worry, Alex. I'm gonna fix it.
It's
gonna take it from me.
They've doubled down on it now, bro. It's gonna be official from now on.
Oh, that's right. That whole sequence
Is it really?
That whole sequence though ends with our Strange waking up in bed thinking it was a dream, and then he goes to Christina's wedding.
He wakes up like
somebody else.
From a nightmare of him dying to go to a wedding for the woman he loves because she wasn't blipped.
And there's that great scene where the dude, one of the other doctors from Doctor Strange 1, when he was still working in the hospital, sits down next to him and is like, did it have to happen? I lost 2 of my cats and my brother. I like he said 2 of his cats first before his brother. But he was blipped for 5 years. And like, so there was that little, it was a very brief moment, a very brief little exchange, but it still kind of added to the weight of the decision that Strange had to make when he said there's only one choice here. And so that just kind of added to that weight for me a little bit. And then you hear some commotion outside and he goes fight the squid monster and meets America Chavez.
Well, I thought when I first saw it, based on the how they like designed the her costume or whatever, I thought it was going to be Kamala Khan. I'm honest.
Miss Marvel.
Yeah,
Miss Marvel. I thought because
her show's coming up pretty soon.
She wears the jean jacket a lot too, though.
Yeah.
I thought the same thing. I was like, is this gonna be Miss Marvel? Like,
No, it's just America. She doesn't have a superhero name. It's just America Chavez.
I wasn't very familiar with that character though going into this.
Oh, really?
I never saw her in a comic.
Oh man, she had this really good animated movie where it was her, Ms. Marvel, and Squirrel Girl having to take down a Skrull invasion.
Oh, so is she newer?
Yeah, she's pretty newer. Like not like crazy newer, but like new enough.
She was teaming up with Squirrel Girl though. That's pretty. That's in the last 20 years.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay. So all right. So yeah.
So like relatively recent.
Yeah. All right. That's why I'm not okay. I saw a meme earlier. That was like they literally made a Latina superhero whose power is to cross borders
in the shape of stars.
Metal. Yeah. That is so metal.
I love it too because there's like a lot of people that are like, oh, she has lesbian moms. Oh, it's so woke and stuff. And it's like she comes from a reality where there's only women.
Yeah.
It's a lot different than like being gay. It's just like that's their version of straight realistically. But it's also like that's normal to them.
Have
who cares
problems seated deeper than any Marvel movie is ever going to be able to approach.
Easily.
This movie
so
got
stupid.
fucking banned in multiple countries because
of that.
Has 2 moms. It's not like they were fucking finger banging in the fucking fields. There was no glass tables or fucking boxes and like no depraved sex on screen. She just said she had 2 moms who appeared to be very loving before getting sucked into a vortex. In Egypt was like gay.
It's infected with the gay.
It's gonna make all our kids want to touch themselves and people of the same gender.
Oh, they already do. But it was literally they step on a button and a memory is projected. It's literally a throwaway memory scene. Like it's not even in the like. It just provides. It's just a moment.
It just gives you,
to give you a little bit of backstory.
Well, that's yeah.
It gives you her
so-
context.
That's all it is.
So, yeah,
like it's
so-
not even anything. Nobody even kisses. Like
No, they're just
What the fuck is
walking
wrong with
side
those
by
people?
side and looking lovingly at each other.
Yeah.
Do what you done with fucking 2,000 years of homoerotic imagery and just say they were friends.
did you say Egypt?
Yeah, Egypt and like Saudi Arabia. There's like 2 or 3 other countries that flat out banned this movie.
Egypt.
I think China said no too.
Oh no,
Yeah.
I know about China, but you said Egypt.
Yes.
Egypt. I mean, do they know what their
What
own
year it
history?
is?
Like, no, their own like all the
Oh,
pharaohs
dude.
banged each other. Like, what are we?
Dude, look
talking
at
about?
fucking what's his name? King Tut. They just did that thing where they did like a 3D render of him and like what he looks like from like when he died, and he's like hunchback, club foot, like eyes super close together. He's the product of like 14 generations of incest.
Yeah, everybody
Yeah,
fucked everybody.
and no, dude, it's fucking ridiculous that they would ban this movie because someone has 2
Ridiculous.
fucking moms.
ridiculous. It is ridiculous.
I'm not,
Bullshit.
you know, I'm not going to sit here and preach about that too hard, but it's a fucking superhero movie, dude. There's a woman who uses literal witchcraft to possess people and like hurt people. And it's come on, man.
Yeah, I love the reveal of Scarlet Witch being the fucking
That-
villain
yeah.
because like
That's
that's not
my
even like a
next-
spoiler. That's like literally the next thing that fucking happens.
That was one of the better scenes in the movie for me. She's there walking through the orchard, and Strange is like, "Oh, you know, this is
Yeah.
convincing."
get you
magic."
back
And
on-
she's like,
Oh,
I'll
it's
get you back
apples.
on the lunchbox.
Eventually.
"Yeah, like you know, they have this conversation where he's trying to be like, hey, like let's do some Avengers shit." And the fucking classic slip up, and I fucking love this. Like they use this in movies straight up. The first like ball tickle of that 80s horror that they bring to it, where
Sam
she says,
Raimi.
"Bring America to me," and well, blah blah blah. And Strange
Yep.
stops. She
I
goes,
know. And she said,
"You never said her
never
name.
said
did
the
you?"
name. Yep.
Like that's the kind of villain I fucking live for in movies where they're so sure of themselves. Like, I just messed up. Okay, mask comes off, and she's in this fucking hellscape, dude. It all melts away, a la Thanos with the reality
Dark
stone.
Hold. But even before that, I loved how he was like given the option between a bunch of bug-based superheroes and you.
Yeah.
Like,
That was
yeah.
good.
the option is clear.
And yeah, that's
No.
another thing. And I kind of
I-
want to wait for Alex to get back here because I think it was you brought up the Spider-Man thing.
I want to rub up against that a little bit. I do.
Okay.
Yeah, we and
Because I'm
we're-
fully prepared now to defend
but no,
the
no,
order in the
no.
timeline here.
No, please do. I bet that's what I've been waiting for is for somebody to fucking break it down for me because I understand that at this point in the timeline, nobody remembers. Everybody knows that there's a Spider-Man, but nobody
Yes.
knows that Peter Parker is Spider-Man.
Nobody
it's-
remembers Peter Parker
Right.
at all.
But my problem with that is that Doctor Strange, as well as everybody else on the Avengers team, knows who each other are. And so is Spider-Man still in the Avengers? And if that's the case, do they just not know his real identity?
I
That
mean-
seems really odd to me.
It's
At-
kind of how they left it at the end. Of the
At
last
current
movie.
time, think about what the Avengers are. The Avengers came together or came back together to defeat Thanos.
Yes.
Then Wanda went off and did WandaVision.
Yes.
Captain America is gone, and America now has to accept the new Captain America. The Avengers aren't really a thing right now. Like,
Not totally, but they still know who each other
and
are.
Spider-Man, like, regardless of like the whole Peter Parker being Spider-Man, nobody remembering Peter Parker, so therefore people just remember Spider-Man.
Hmm.
They still remember Spider-Man being involved with all that Stark stuff, and
Right.
Stark's gone, and like all that stuff. So Spider-Man's still not like your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man right now. Spider-Man is still looked at as, you know, an unlawful vigilante.
See, so he's not.
No, he was
a member-
acquitted.
So he's not a member of the Avengers then?
I don't think the Avengers exist right now.
No, yeah, the Avengers technically don't exist realistically
Iron
because,
Man's
like, in
dead.
Civil War they had the fall.
Iron
They
Man's
never had
dead,
like a
Captain
unity.
America's dead. Thor took off. Black Widow's dead.
Dead.
Guardians of the Galaxy took off. Captain Marvel took off.
Captain Marvel took off.
Well, they were never really inducted
like
as
PR.
Avengers really either because like
Kinda.
they had like the core
Wait, who?
team,
Guardians.
like the Guardians or
Guardians-
like
oh no,
Captain
Guardians
Marvel.
weren't Avengers.
Yeah. Like they weren't considered like
alright.
Avengers because like they
Alright.
had like the core group of
Now-
like the original 6 and then like Wanda and Falcon
Now,
and maybe Ant-Man.
Rhodey.
here's what
Rhodey technically too,
so-
yeah.
So do and maybe none of us know this. I don't know if this has been released. I don't know if anybody knows this. How long after No Way Home does this take place exactly?
That was
No Way Home ends in December, so
That-
I'm gonna give it like maybe like 5 months.
That was
Yeah,
kind of what I was trying to figure out.
hang on.
People were hanging out in New York without jackets, so we're gonna assume late spring, early summer.
But hang on. No Way Home did not take place in the winter.
It ended in
It
winter.
ended in the winter. It was
Yeah.
that. It was
Oh,
that.
it
lead-
did
It was.
end
It
in
was
the
like
winter,
first
sure.
semester. So it was like.
That's
It was
true.
like.
Fuck. I forgot about that.
So
when
it's
there's-
been realistically about a year since the blip, since everyone came back.
Since Endgame. So all of this has taken place chronologically 1 year since Endgame, which for us was like 5 years ago.
If you
No,
follow,
for us it would be like 2 years in the future.
they
2 or 3
don't try
years
to
in the
equate it
future.
to our current timeline.
I'm
it
lost.
gets more confusing
Because
no.
they're currently like Hawkeye and all that stuff was like the end
That-
of like 2024, I want to say.
Yeah, Hawkeye takes
What?
place. Hawkeye
Yeah.
takes place about, I'd say, 2 weeks after Spider-Man, because Spider-Man flies over the.
The fucking
Christmas
Rockefeller
tree.
Center. Rockefeller
Yeah.
Center. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that's still standing.
But
and not
Hawkeye would have
destroyed,
to-
So
would
Hawkeye
have-
happens later.
Yeah, exactly. It would have to take place after. But you think that's 2024?
Yeah,
It is 2024.
That's-
Yeah. Because the snap happened in 2018, and then 5 years passed, and then that was when the Avengers reassembled the stones and killed 2014 Thanos.
Son of a
2023,
bitch.
like early spring, basically. I'm pretty sure. Is
Oh
when
my
Infinity
god,
War
I
happened.
never realized that.
Or,
Okay.
Endgame.
All right.
Yeah, they did a
That-
big time jump, so they're still in the future for us.
My
Yeah.
whole head just rearranged the whole timeline. That's
Yeah, dude. I always thought about it because in Endgame you see Korg
Do
and
we-
fucking Thor playing Fortnite,
So-
and I was like, Fortnite's not going to be relevant by then. But that was totally wrong.
so
They're
then
totally still going to be relevant.
so like something like Moon Knight. Like, do we know where that takes place then?
Not totally confirmed because it's just kind
It's-
of like its own like
it's
somewhat
kinda se-
separated for right
It's
now.
somewhat separated, somewhat self-contained, but also happens in about 3 or 4 days. That's the thing
Yeah.
about a lot of the Marvel movies and series, like WandaVision. Like the climax part takes over like 2 or 3 days. Like Falcon Winter Soldier is about a week and a half.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah. But like we kind of Falcon Winter Soldier is a little bit easier to that has to take place after like almost immediately after Endgame, right? Like
I think it takes place not too long.
I think it's a few
before.
months after Endgame.
yeah.
It's a few months. That's the first one, and then WandaVision.
Is in the fall of that year.
Yeah, and then Spider-Man 2, Spider-Man
But
3,
it's
Doctor
just
Strange.
there were things
Yeah.
that Koshinu did in Moon Knight that were like world like there were certain things that happened in Moon Knight where I was like, why aren't the Avengers being called in for this? And
Because realistically, they're all on
So-
like a
so
fucking
where-
hire me
I
basis,
get-
you know, heroes for
Yeah.
hire kind of shit.
Yeah, and like we've been saying, there is no Avengers right now.
yeah.
There's no like
everyone's-
unified team.
Like
After
Doctor
the-
Strange is
the-
hanging out in New York, and
and-
when shit
and-
happens in New York, he can jump in and do something. But
And the Sokovia Accords did happen.
Mhm.
yeah,
So
so
I never
and so
thought
yeah,
about
so like
that, yeah.
Spider-Man has to keep it. That's why like I really like the way they did the everyone forgetting Peter Parker Spider-Man, because on excuse me,
Oh, I
Spider-Man
love
is
that
keeping
movie.
low profile, so he's not going to be jumping in to save Hawkeye when Hawkeye is doing Hawkeye shit. Like that's why you don't get him. That's like Kingpin shows up and
So great.
Spider-Man or Daredevil's not there. It's because Kingpin was in the picture for like 12 hours. Like,
Yeah.
And Spider-Man was like, well, looks like Hawkeye's got this handled. No reason to go involve myself in this until Hawkeye's in trouble.
Everybody's just waiting for a Spider-Man Daredevil team up against Kingpin.
Fuck.
There we go.
That shit's gonna be
I
gnarly.
want it so bad.
So bad.
That was kind of why when this one started, it took me a second to catch up with where it was at because I felt like I missed something. I felt like we were.
This,
at
as
a different
far as
part
I
of-
know, I think happens like right before Eternals.
Okay.
Oh,
I'm pretty sure Eternals
see, that's
is
real.
going to be
So
the most
this-
recent, like most recent thing that happens up until like, honestly, the way I look at it is
What?
until they mention it, until somebody mentions the giant fucking stone
Right.
creature in the sea.
That's another
and
thing.
The galactic
Yeah.
sized creature showing up and saying, I'll be back. Until
Dun,
somebody
dun, dun,
talks
dun.
about that, like I consider that to be like as far forward as we've gone.
Oh my god, I didn't even fucking think about that. Yeah, that's another world event that it feels like more heroes should have been called into. Where the fuck did Eternals take place? Okay.
Eternals, in my opinion, takes place like 2025. It's got to.
So
Because-
basically we're seeing all this shit out of order.
Yeah, I'm not, and that's
A little
me
bit because it was
guessing.
all delayed.
Right.
Yeah, like
And-
as far as I know, Multiverse was supposed to come out before Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
3, right?
Yeah, so
Yes.
America was supposed to be
Yes.
the one that got Toby and Andrew to come help out because she was
Yes.
supposed to be like learning how to control her power by then. So she
Yes.
was going to be in Spider-Man, but then they had to switch it around. So then she wasn't.
I guess I didn't think about that. I mean, well, I
Yeah.
guess.
God damn
like
it though. I
when
love
they're-
the way they did it.
Yeah.
They just
when-
did
when
net
they were
and being
doing the-
magic.
Yeah, when they were doing the original side or like the original movies or whatever, it kind of felt like that. It was like scattered anyway until it got to the Avengers, like the actual movie, and then it all kind
Yeah.
of made sense. Going at least to me. I don't know if you guys felt the same way. But
Oh, absolutely. No, and
was-
that's how all the phases have really been. Is that everything's a little disjointed. You don't get everything coming out in a perfect timeline order. Like we said
Yeah.
in our second our phase 2 episode, that it really feels like Ultron should have happened right after Civil War.
No,
Or,
it
sorry,
should have happened at the beginning of phase
at the
2.
At the beginning.
So
of
like
phase
before
2.
like Iron Man 3 or Winter Soldier, because like you get the fucking Quinjet coming to help save the day during Ultron and shit, and it's like Shield was just disbanded because they just got found out that they were basically Hydra in disguise.
Yeah, and there's literally one line in Ultron that's like, then technically I'm a thug for Shield, then technically you're unemployed. That's really it. Anyway, we've done that. Go listen to that episode.
for context.
Context here. So they aren't necessarily released in timeline order, and then when the team up happens, which as far as I can tell, the last movie on the slate is Fantastic Four, and I hope that's not where they're gonna start like the actual team up of like Reed Richards putting together, unless it's Reed Richards putting together this universe's Illuminati and it's fucking Fantastic Four, Birth of the Illuminati or something.
But
Nah, you need some campy, fun Fantastic Four stuff before you get into like the fucking
I don't think
serious
we do, dude.
anti-hero fantastic.
I think
I don't
if we bring in asshole, like if our first introduction to Reed Richards is him like, check it out, Doc, you fucking Captain Marvel, like these 6 shit's going wrong and there's about to be an incursion and this is the only way I know how to stop it and you're the only people that are powerful enough to help me do it. I'm sorry, but we need to do it. Or he's going to dress it up as like, oh, this is another Skrull invasion. We have to go like defeat all them or something. I don't think we're going to have a fun, campy, Fantastic Four introduction, especially after seeing this one.
that's another thing that could be in the back pocket is anyone that we just saw could have been a scroll. Like, because we know, but we already know they faked us out
but not
multiple
not-
times.
I don't know, man. I don't think that they're gonna be like John Krasinski, Mr. Fantastic in the alternate universe was also a Skrull. Like,
I don't
fuck that,
think
dude.
That'd be fucking so
that's
sick.
a fucking step too far, Faggy. If you're
I-
listening, change it right now if that's the case.
I don't see that.
Pump brakes.
I could see it being something. I could see there being something with that though, like where
I
like
can
they
see-
faked us out somehow in the
I
long
could see
run.
him
Probably
bring-
not.
Not in that multiverse. No, I think that Illuminati in this one was 100% them in that universe. Like,
So yeah, so let's okay. Where do we
Alright.
leave off? Where are we? We got America.
So
Chavez,
America
okay.
and Strange have just killed Gargantos. They found out that Wanda is the villain, and she gives her fucking
Oh yeah, he goes to
goddamn
her.
piece de resistance. She
That's right.
says, if you don't hand her over peacefully, then it won't be Wanda that comes to see you. It's the
he
Scarlet
literally-
Witch. And then she
Yeah.
fucking like hulks out and fucking sends him on his way.
He literally goes to her for help, and then when he gets back to the not the Sanctum Sanctorum,
She's
what's
like,
the-
you told the person that's trying to
Sabotage.
kill me where I am. And
Sabotage.
he was like,
yes,
kinda.
Alex, yes, exactly, Alex. That's exactly what I was gonna say. Yeah, he gets
poor
back to
America
Sabotage.
just getting
Yeah.
fucked over by Doctor Strange
And
over
then-
and over again in different universes.
And then we get what I would say is a beautiful combination of Marvel and Sam Raimi, where we start
Oh my
off with
God.
the Scarlet Witch from above flying around, just fucking attacking Kamar-Taj, destroying
No.
everything.
You gotta
Straight up
talk about the
hate breed.
fucking the mano a mano talk between her and
Oh,
Strange
yeah.
at first.
Okay, we'll start. That's where it starts. Yeah,
Where
that is where it
he's
starts.
just sitting there, just your kids aren't real. You never had that. Those aren't your kids. Like, what are you gonna do? You're gonna kill some kid's poor fucking mother and then just take them? Like, what do you think you're doing? And she's like, "Oh, I was being reasonable at first, but there's no fucking turning back now."
Yeah.
I love the fact that the Darkhold has like torn her this much since WandaVision, because like this isn't supposed to be that far
That's
away
what
from
I've been wanting to say
WandaVision.
since we saw it, is that this changes WandaVision into a villain origin story.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
Like,
When I like first when I kind of pieced that together as we were watching it, I was like, that makes a lot of sense as far as like where the series left off. Because I was a pretty big fan of the WandaVision series. I mean, it was kind of took a few different turns, but when it actually ended, it left it pretty open and stuff. And it never really did get back to what happened with the kids and everything. And so when that started to happen, I was like, shit, like there's a whole other side of this that like they're making.
and
her
again,
into
this
the
is
big
one
bad.
of this is the point in the MCU where they're starting to be like, you gotta watch the other stuff. If you're diving in to the MCU at Multiverse of Madness, like you're gonna be so fucking lost.
Yeah.
Like as lost as I was that they introduced a cow person and just blew right past that.
hey, it's a
Even though that's
magic
a-
minotaur,
that's-
and
that's
he's
actually-
technically not even from that plane of existence either.
And it's
Sure.
kind of a big character in the comics.
Yeah,
But just kind of blew right past him. Like that's how you're gonna feel. Like how I feel there is how you're gonna feel if you're trying to watch this as your first Marvel movie. Like they do a whole Marvel movie in the first 20 minutes. You get the fucking
big monster
setup,
fight.
the monster fight,
Yeah.
the city destruction, the villain monologue, the hero trying to reason, a big sky battle, and then you
A
realize
horror movie.
it's only
That's-
been 25 minutes.
That's
Dude, I
insane.
loved when she was bombing Carmitage and then was like, that guy, he's weak. And then you see her float from right behind him, just run. And this boy fucking starts knocking people the fuck over so she can get into the
Breaks
force
the
field.
shield. Yep.
And then she does the big ground pound, like fucking fart thing where it just erupts.
Superhero landing.
It was the next bit though when she starts pulling people through reflections.
That's
That shit, yeah. They try to do the
That's-
mirror dimension,
that's
but
what I
she's
was-
like, "Oh, you think?"
this whole sequence was a beautiful combination of Sam Raimi and Marvel, where you get the fucking initial grounded pound, the fucking crazy big flying around, shooting shit, fucking spectacle, but then you get arms coming out of screens and
And like pulling
reflections.
people into
And
reflections
it's
and
very,
shit.
it all of a sudden becomes very Evil Dead.
When
And
she
then-
pulls herself through the gong, dude.
Yeah, she snaps through the gong's reflection and then like fucking basically like Sudoku's herself like
Does
through the fucking
ring
reflection.
girl, like the
Yeah.
ring girl thing, like the fucking crinkly, and then she snaps up and
Yeah.
fucking.
And you see like
yeah.
slits in her where like she had to fold herself.
Yeah, yeah.
Ugh.
So the detail is insane, like so crazy.
It was beautifully done. And like I love the fact that you get the Sam Raimi-ness of it too, where like you get like the doors slamming and you get the fucking Dutch angle shift while it's zooming in.
Anytime a door opens, it creaks like a horror movie. Like every little fucking thing that he could do to make it more of a horror movie, he did. Like every little tiny detail. Like
Hell, they even had to put in that fucking car.
And Bruce Campbell.
And Bruce Campbell. Yeah, he was the pizza papa in one of those universes. You know, food is free in most universes. It's weird that it's not in yours. And then all of a sudden, hey, you got to pay for those. Oh, apparently it's not here either.
It's not for you. And then Doctor Strange literally gives him an evil hand for 3 weeks.
Yeah, he just has him beat himself up like an Evil Dead.
Direct Evil Dead reference. Yeah.
Beautiful. But yeah, so
yeah,
where are we?
Where are we?
Reflection scene. She's busting out of the
yeah.
fucking reflections, and then she is about to capture America, and that is when America and Strange dive through several different multiverses, including one where they're paint for a minute, and then they bust out of these. Yeah,
and
they go through one.
dinosaurs.
Yeah, that's like all dinosaurs and prehistoric shit.
I
don't remember a couple other ones.
Well, the first one they passed through has motherfucker the three heads, that's big in the
the Living Tribunal.
The Living Tribunal. Yes, thank you. Yes. But they were separate. They weren't together. Like, so we actually saw for the first time in the MCU the Living Tribunal, which is pretty fucking cool.
It's super wild.
Very similar introduction to the Watchers from Guardians of the Galaxy.
Very subtle and quick, and then you'll see them later.
Yeah, exact same kind of a thing. So I love like here's a little song. Here's a little Easter egg.
Again,
I almost kind of wish that they would have done a little bit more with that. I mean, it would have been very, I guess, very endgame. Like
they got to save it for Kang.
Yeah. But to see all the stuff, that was one of the things that, like, as they were going through all of that, I was trying to pay attention to see if I recognized any of it and any of the things that they were going through for that brief second.
Some of it,
it was all pretty referential. I think that was like them being like, "This is how weird it gets, people."
Yeah,
that was.
These are your multiverses.
And
they were paint, all right.
Yeah.
And the animated multiverse version that they went through wasn't even the same animation as like the What If series. So
it was
like
different.
Different universe from that even.
Yeah, it was like cell shaded.
And it's been confirmed that What If is canon. So yeah.
Then they land in 838 where they meet the Pizza Papa, and
they landed 138 or 838. Yes, thank you. Which apparently spoilers, in this universe, the X-Men and the Fantastic Four exist.
And the Inhumans.
And the Inhumans, and not only that, Doctor Strange is dead.
Yep, Doctor Strange
having defeated Thanos.
He died killing Thanos, which they did on Titan. So before he even got time to collect all the Infinity Stones, they had this motherfucker murked.
That is one spot right there where I want to bring up.
Let's talk about this because
let's go in order. So I have to keep jumping back.
Okay.
Yeah. So go on red.
Thank you. In this universe, you go on red instead of green lights. And then they go to find the Sanctum. And there's a big statue of Doctor Strange saying he gave his life defeating Thanos and Earth's. They actually refer to Doctor Strange in that universe as Earth's mightiest hero, which I thought was hilarious. Thor would be pissed about that. And then Mordor.
MODOK? No, not MODOK. Shit.
Mordo.
Mordo.
All right.
Got me thinking
Moto.
MODOK, and I'm like, nah, it's not Patton Oswalt.
Moto walks out, and he's now the new Sorcerer Supreme, and he greets the Doctor Strange as a brother, even though our Doctor Strange is like, we were enemies.
Yeah, he's like leaning into Jamaica. Yeah, he hates me in my universe.
Yeah,
he like wants to kill me.
And then he ends up drugging America Chavez and Doctor Strange to bring them
to the Baxter building.
The Baxter building, of course,
where they're led
Illuminati
by Ultron sentries.
Yes.
A perfected form of Ultron.
Now, also during this time, because they keep flipping scenes between that and our world, with our Scarlet Witch,
who is now taking Wong captive.
Yes, taking Wong captive, and him revealing that the Darkhold was a copy from runes that were on the walls of a structure, and so he leads her in a sense.
I forgot the Darkhold was already destroyed at this point.
Yeah, and so
we skipped over that, didn't we?
He kind of
we're kind of.
Someone just kind of sneaks in and destroys the Darkhold.
Because those books end up being just fucking random MacGuffins that don't mean shit.
Yeah. Ultimately, but he ends up leading her to the originating place of the Darkhold, and she
Mount Wondergo.
Yes, and she like throws him off the mountain, but he ends up surviving. But then we go back to fucking the Illuminati shit, where Strange is led in, yes, by Ultron sentries, which, okay, we'll get into it. But he gets led into the Illuminati, and you guys are gonna have to help me.
All right, hold up here, because the fact that he gets led in by Ultron sentries to the Baxter building raises just
that's
so many questions.
Thank you. Like,
so this universe, we can assume that Aaron has vanished.
Wait just a second, we're back. Sorry.
We can assume that since there are Ultron sentries, that Ultron program was successful in creating like the Iron Legion version of Ultron.
Yep.
So it didn't go wrong.
It didn't go wrong, which means the Mind Stone wasn't used to create Vision. There's no Vision in this universe.
That's not entirely true. It could also be that they decided to save Ultron and then like reprogram him, basically.
Yeah, I was gonna say, without a vision, how does she have kids?
Then, then where's he? Because I feel like he'd be a pretty important member of what's going on here. And then it's revealed by the Illuminati. So let's just go through it real quick. Illuminati.
The Illuminati. Charles Xavier rolls up. Patrick Stewart in the big motherfucking animated series wheelchair.
If you want to jump into the fourth reveal.
No, dude, that's not even the fourth reveal.
No, that was the last reveal.
They show Monica Rambeau.
Captain Marvel, defender of the cosmos.
They show the guy with the thing first.
Blackagar Boltagon, the leader of the Inhumans.
They show that guy first.
His superhero name is Black Bolt.
Then they show Black Bolt, then
Captain Carter, and then Monica Rambeau is Captain Marvel in this universe.
Then
Reed Richards, the smartest man alive.
And then like less than 30 seconds later, they bring out, I think we should tell him the truth.
And it goes,
which
it's like Danny Elfman, you bitch.
Yeah.
Dude, my theory with that is that it's going to be revealed the X-Men 92 reboot on Disney Plus is going to be Universe 838.
That would suck so hard.
That would come so hard.
Why?
Because Charles is dead, man.
Charles is dead like
we've seen
fucking 40 years after the series takes
place.
We've
seen him die on screen.
Right, but this is supposed to happen like immediately after the animated series closed off.
Why?
Because that's what the animated series reboot is. It's like literally just them picking up where they left off.
They picked that up where they left off.
That's what they are currently working on the reboot for it's called X-Men 98 or X-Men 93 or whatever.
Yeah,
doesn't count.
Whenever it starts up, it's got 20 years until Thanos shows up and they have to defeat him on Titan. Like,
all I know is
So yeah,
I loved
so
how the Illuminati impaled Thanos on that fucking helicopter blade, and that was just the end of him.
And if you noticed, that dead Thanos that they showed in that universe where like how they had to kill Doctor Strange, that Thanos did not have. He had the Infinity Gauntlet, but not.
that's just
all the
blowing right
stones.
He had
past like
four
leading
or-
up to that scene. It's getting so confusing.
Yeah, no. You're
Well,
right,
yeah,
you're right.
they dropped the info that the biggest threat to the multiverse is Doctor Strange himself, because usually he finds a way to fuck things up by either seeking the dark hold or getting into dark magics in general, where he dreamwalked his way into trying to save 838 from Thanos so that he could get better tactical ideas, and caused an incursion, which is two universes smashing together.
I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe the very specific phrasing was that Doctor Strange was the biggest threat to their universe. Not
He said the
every-
multiverse.
He said the
Oh, it was the
multiverse.
multiverse? Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, he
they
said
just
that-
flat out said multiverse.
Okay.
He said that in every universe that they've observed in Doctor Strange, that at some point he's the reason for an incursion.
Oh.
That's how they reveal the incursion. That every time he does something to cross over the universes, that's what's happening, and that's why he formed the Illuminati to basically fix his fuck ups, because he had done so much damage that incursions were happening more and more.
It's like a long-winded butterfly effect.
Dude, I loved the fact that like while this was happening, they had the explanation of dreamwalking with that like weird crossfadey scene and shit where the Scarlet Witch is like lighting all the candles around her and like fucking getting into her little like dreamwalking pose and shit. And then actually that was before they got drugged, but like beautifully shot scene, fun way for doing exposition to a way that's just like, well, how is she going to work her way into another multiverse? It's like through the mind of another her.
Yeah, if we've already established that America Chavez is the one that has the ability to travel, how are we going to get Scarlet Witch to chase them through it? More dark magic and an awesome fucking like Cradle of Filth music video looking scene.
Yeah.
Everything's all red.
Seriously, you could put Cruelty Brought the Orchids over like a lot of the Scarlet Witch scenes in this movie, and it would be
I had a very similar thought when I was watching it. I was like, man, this looks like a really sick video.
So yeah, we get the explanation that in their universe they were able to defeat Thanos on Titan, using the Book of Ashanti, and then because of that use of the Book of Ashanti and getting into dark magic, Black Bolt had to fucking VoIP Strange down.
Well,
I'm sorry.
No. Actually, it was Strange was already using the Darkhold in that universe, and
To
then
dreamwalk for different solutions.
Yes, exactly, and then relinquished it, got the Book of Ashanti, defeated Thanos, and then because of his use of the Darkhold, that was the last.
That's when they
decided
decided the biggest threat to the multiverse was Stephen Strange. So they blast him.
And what's
Bolt
his name?
fucking wipes him out.
Black Bolt literally kills him by saying "I'm sorry," which was
Yeah.
so heartbreaking.
Full name Black Agar Boltagon.
You seem stuck on that.
Because it's Black Agar Boltagon. His parents named him that. I get that he's like an alien species technically, but like, what?
It sounds like pig Latin.
It does.
You know?
But yeah, Black Bolt's fucking voice is the ultra powerful. He's basically like the Metatron from Christian mythology.
I am the Metatron.
Yeah.
From Dogma.
Voice of the Almighty, the one true God.
The one took ass. Snoogans.
So we see that we get the like at some point, and like we're already an hour into this and we're only halfway through the movie.
We could definitely zoom past this part because, like, realistically,
they're
like, fuck you and your stupid little witch. She's not even that powerful in our universe. She's like going fucking making ice cream treats for her sons. It's like, whatever, man.
Yeah, they're a bunch of idiots.
Yeah,
because she would only be about like
arrogant.
Age of Ultron fucking power anyway. She never like had any reason to go above and beyond at that point if she settled down and had kids.
There's no WandaVision happened in this in that universe.
She had actual kids.
They were more scared of Strange than they were of her.
Mm-hmm.
Until
she busts in, fucking covered in Ultron oil and looking like the fucking Terminator with her eyes glowing red.
Dun, dun, dun.
That scene is one of my favorites in a Marvel movie right now, dude. Her chasing them down through the tunnels and shit. That little nod to zombie Wanda.
Oh, dude, that shit was dope.
No. That's after.
The best part,
she kills the Illuminati.
Yeah, they all land down and they're like, Wanda, stop. And she's just like, what's going on? And they're just like, we have to stop you. And she's like, nope, fuck you. I'm getting America. This is just it. And no, stop. Black Bolt can kill you with one whisper from his mouth. What mouth? And then you see him and he's all Matrix.
Fucking Neo's him, dude.
Fused his mouth shut. And he screams inside of his own mouth and it reflects back and blows his brain out. Killing Black Bolt instantly.
That was gnarly.
And then Reed is like, okay, listen, I have kids of my own. Like, I get where you're coming from. And she goes, is their mother still alive? And he says, yes, she is. And she goes, well, they will have somebody to raise them then. And he fucking gets spaghetti noodled. He gets ripped apart molecule by molecule until his head bursts.
Yep.
I have never been so satisfied in a Marvel movie as to watch Mr. Fantastic get popped.
Yeah, Mr. Fancast.
Mr. Fantastic. I
should have called the movie. They should call the next one. Sorry.
But then Captain Carter and Captain Marvel start fucking decking her at the same time, so she's all razzled.
Work over.
Yeah, and Captain Carter thinks it's a good idea to throw that vibranium shield straight at her, and Wanda shows that she is very good at frisbee.
She gets Darth Mauled.
She gets sliced in half. Haley Atwell.
Darth Mauled, bro.
Cut down to size. It sucked.
I was really looking forward to her being more of a presence. I knew it was going to be a shorter cameo, but I was hoping for a little more big Haley Atwell. But
me too.
But then Captain Marvel gets punked real hard too.
Now,
It puts up a fight for a good second, but then the heaviest goddamn fucking statue known to man or something crushes her.
No,
this is my problem.
I know what your problem is. Captain Marvel's power comes from absorbing energy and redistributing it. That's her whole thing. Through the Power Stone converter thing that exploded on her and gave her that power. So Scarlet Witch just starts sucking her power away faster than she can absorb it. And right when she's at her weakest, she just drops a statue on her because she's only human. Same with Captain Carter.
Right.
Same with Mr. Fantastic. They're not immortal. They're just people. And you take that power away from them and
but I wasn't aware that was that
it's because they do
her power could be
shit job in explaining it.
Yeah, they do not. They absolutely make no effort in that at all. Because I'm like,
she's Super Saiyan.
Captain Marvel is way more powerful than what we're seeing right now. Like way more fucking powerful
against
he can
anyone
almost
else.
Defeat Thanos.
Against anyone else, she is more powerful than so many of these people. But like, you take that power away from her, and she's just a squishy fucking meatbag.
But I wasn't. Yeah, they did. They made absolutely no effort in explaining that the Scarlet Witch was draining her power. That was not ever made clear at all.
It's not made clear. It's kind of, you have to kind of infer it from Doctor Strange taking America's power. Like magic can be used to draw power from someone else.
See,
because that's what Agatha Harkness was doing too.
I really wish they had done a better job at that, because that makes it make a lot more sense. Because
that's one of those things where it's like they've kind of gone over it like 3 times that with magic has the ability to suck power out of people, and they even give you that refreshment in the beginning, but then they don't explain that's what she's doing to Captain Marvel,
or just have some kind of a visual for it. Like one of my we all just talked about how much we love Xavier coming out in the yellow chair, but not only all that, when he first does this, we get the circle, just like from the fucking cartoon. So give me some kind of visual representation like that.
Well, they showed her power like her flame like going out. Like
yeah, when she got knocked out, it showed it like kind of like fiddle out, and then fucking gets crushed.
Got to do better than that, though. They got to do something a little bit more. Just something like a quick.
Oh, they did a pretty solid job.
Reaches her hand out and fucking like some powers getting sucked, and then we go back to the fight. You know what I mean? Just a brief moment would be fine.
Mhm.
But yeah, I don't know. I
get what you mean.
I never picked up on that. So you explaining that to me,
Yeah.
okay, yes, that makes
I'm
more sense.
I'm a Marvel apologist, so I'm like, yeah, no, like I said up at the top, man, like we're at the point now where like you kind of Marvel's like, yeah, you gotta run with it.
Yeah,
Magic purple guy with fucking a glove and 6 rocks wiped out half the universe, and then a guy dressed in an American flag went back in time and stopped him. Like,
we've been doing it for 15 years now. Learn the source material or get off the boat.
not necessarily learn the source material, but just like, here's what we're putting in front of you.
Yeah.
Well, we might get back to it later. We might not.
Yep.
It's
Right.
like Mordo, Baron Mordo in 616.
That's something I was
still
gonna
out
bring
there.
up.
Still out there doing nothing.
that's
Hell,
something I was gonna-
838's Mordo is still alive too. He got left in the gutter.
Yep. And that's what everybody thought Doctor Strange 2 was going to be, was him versus Mordo, based on the after credit scene from Doctor Strange 1.
I thought it was gonna be
Yeah.
Nightmare,
So
I think it was supposed to be.
but then they made it a multiverse movie, and it's pretty solid. I mean, she fucking makes short work of the Illuminati, showing that like even in a less powered version of her body, she knows the magic way more than she needs to be way more powerful than most people. And then they have that sick fucking Terminator style fucking jaunt through the fucking underground where they're trying to like close the doors on her and she's busting through them and shit.
Just ripping them
now
apart.
that's the next. Yeah. After she fillets the Illuminati, yeah, we do get this
She ripped Charles' head open and then fucking went after chasing them.
literally rips the jaw off his face.
Yeah.
Amazing. And then, but no, I agree with you, Alex, because I saw it again. I actually did going to see it again, and that scene stuck out to me so heavily. Where, and I don't even totally understand why she's limping. I never saw her get hit in the leg or anything, but she's like
she's
limping.
barefoot.
Oh yeah, well no, yeah, she's definitely barefoot, but yeah, she's like limping, like coming at you like a zombie with fucking this blood looking oil all over her face and red eyes, very zombie-esque. But
yeah, they do the fucking horror movie thing.
But a zombie
Carrie.
that can just do like Carrie. That's
looking.
something I thought of exactly like Carrie.
Yeah.
But a Carrie or a zombie that can just do this and break apart a steel door.
Or
And-
even not even have to do that to the steel door. That one scene is they fucking close the door and they're all sitting there like, okay, I don't hear her actually doing
And then
anything.
she shoots in.
And then she's just like behind one of the girders, just like fucking when she like teleported in basically. Like, oh,
It's Scarlet
so
Witch,
good.
man. Like, that's what I loved about this, is like so much of this was them relying on Wanda not being as powerful as they feared she could be, but her
Mhm.
being like, bitch, I've been reading the Darkhold like crazy. since
Cover
that
to
shit
cover.
happened.
I've
Cover to
been
cover.
this shit like Harry Potter.
It's been like a year, man, that I've been studying this thing. I am at my most powerful.
even in a weakened body.
Yeah, it was fucking, oh god, dude, it was so cool seeing a Marvel villain fully powered up, not in the last 10 minutes of the movie, you know?
Right.
Yeah, the
For
entire
whole
movie.
Yeah.
The entire movie is them straight up running from her, being like,
It's-
fuck, dude.
It's basically a chase movie. It's basically a
Mhm.
whole movie of our heroes running away from the villain through different universes.
Yeah, man, it's Sam Raimi MCU stuff. Like, this was the exact execution I hoped for when they first announced his work on this movie. Like, I thoroughly enjoy like scenes that kind of, like I said earlier on, how the whole Marvel movie took place in the first 20 minutes. And then after that, we get this new style of like someone who was originally a hero, not in like a complicated, like, I'm doing this to try to save the world and you don't understand. She's like, I know I'm doing this for me and I have the power to do it for me. And frankly, I don't think you can stop me. So I'm just going to do it.
Yeah, because then they fucking figure out that they have that portal to the Book of Ashanti. They try to go get it and stop Scarlet Witch from chasing them down and shit. but she ends up fucking one blasting it, fucking one hand redirecting a blast from Strange and just burns the book. So now the entire multiverse doesn't have a book of Ashanti at all.
Yep.
And like, that's so fucking wild to think about that they just don't even have that like artifact anymore.
And then we get to the point where in 838, Strange has to dreamwalk into 616's dead body Defender Strange.
Yeah, the dead Defender Strange, because Wanda ends up fucking ripping a portal open with America and sending her back to Mount Wundagore where she is.
Yes.
That was a cool scene where she they're like in the, I don't know, they like fight each other, and all of a sudden she just like, there's just a big giant explosion and they just shoot through it.
Yeah. That shit is so cool. But then, so Defender Strange is resurrected as a zombie as 616 Strange's mind is controlling him, where now he has to learn to fight the demons that are trying to stop him from using the dark magics.
Because he's using the Darkhold, which is the Book of the Damned. So he's using the damned spirits. Go on.
Yeah, and then again, him realizing that he could actually utilize their powers and redirect them, he turns them into his new cloak, just arms and fucking just like ghastly figures just like spreading out from him as a fucking giant magic cloak.
Fucking around the most metal imagery in a Marvel
metal as fuck.
And he uses all of their fucking spirit energy to fly up to Mount Wundagore. Hands
down, tied between that or Thor coming down with the fucking the Led Zeppelin coming down as the God of Thunder on the bridge. Like those.
The only thing that would have matched this or would have made it more metal is if like instead of fucking how they had that in Ragnarok, it's just fucking Tom Aray's scream from Angel. Just that fucking.
No, fuck that. It's got to be a Monomarth, bro. Come on.
That's what it needs to be a Thor movie. What are you talking about, man? You ever listen to a
Ragnarok? Was the Thor movie, right? Like,
yeah, no, I'm talking when Strange comes flying in. With the bat wings of that, fucking dead spirits. That is just Slayer. Just
Angel of Death.
If they Angel of Death! I love it. I would have literally stood up in the theater. I would have lost all of my shit.
That's when we get our second like big splashy power battle.
Dude, right? Wanda sees him. You hypocrite, dreamwalking.
Which is a reference to the first fucking Doctor Strange movie.
Yeah. Using dark magics to fucking save the day, basically.
Because what the guy he fought in the first one called the original Sorcerer Supreme a hypocrite for using dark magic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We get our big battle. Wong's back. Everyone's like gets back on their feet.
Wong murks one of the monsters right up through the chin.
But rather than
that was fucking metal.
Rather than having our hero kill the villain and stuff like that.
No?
Oh, excuse me. We get a moral fight at the end which with other Wanda that was originally dreamwalked into.
So Chavez basically learns how to harness her power, and initially
starts punching the shit out of Scarlet Witch and like almost sends her to that fucking one dimension that looks like hell.
Literally looks like it's about to send her to hell. And then Chavez goes, I can't beat you, so I'll just give you what you want.
Yeah, and sends her to the living room of I think it might be 838 or it might be a different universe because she doesn't have the scar or like blood or anything.
But she still had some scuffing on the forehead. I think it was the same. I think it was that universe.
It could be.
But if you notice, one of the great details that I loved about it was that when she comes in and she's in her outfit and she looks like an evil witch about to kill America Chavez in front of her children. If you notice, the children are watching Snow White.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Which is a story about an evil witch.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So she
that.
sees.
I like that.
Yeah.
I kept
They were
looking,
primed to be scared of the witch.
that was one subtle little nod, is that there was never anything modern on the TV whenever you saw the kids watching TV. It was all like old.
Old school Disney shit.
They had God, what was the bunny's name?
The one
It was
skeleton.
the one that inspired Mickey Mouse.
Yeah, the one that was
Yeah,
before
yeah.
Mickey Mouse, before they like refined the character model.
I don't remember his name, but I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, they were watching one of those cartoons too.
Yeah, so you get you get, rather than like, you know, a punch fest that leads to a building falling on someone.
It's a heartbreaker.
It's a heartbreaker, dude. She makes those kids, like, America shows that how scared those fucking kids are of her.
Yeah.
And she's like, what are you
Yeah.
gonna do? Like,
She tries
Here
to
you go.
Yeah, she like
even-
walks up to the kids and they're like, "Get away from us! Don't hurt us!" And she's like, "I would never hurt you. I wouldn't hurt anybody." And like, she sees how like terrified she makes her
Yes.
own children, and
Yes.
she's like, "Oh God! Like
I'm
I
not-
actually have become the bad guy."
She even says the line, "I'm not a monster." Like,
yeah,
Oh.
it's great, man. So you get
heartbreaking.
she realizes the error of her ways, and like, you know, the whole like, what if I become
Yeah. What
Conversation with herself.
Yeah, so she sends America and Wong off, and fucking Zombie Strange is just there, just kind of like chilling, like, "Yeah,
Well,
I'll
no,
be in
they-
the other
they-
universe. Come get me. Yeah, it'll, like, come be my ride."
America and Wong go back to
Garmitage.
Comertage, thank you. And yeah, Zombie Strange is just being dreamwalked. So then Scarlet Witch brings in the building, which on the walls is the Darkhold.
And what she does is she uses it one last time to destroy
Destroy it.
every copy of the Darkhold in every universe.
Now,
We actually skipped past Sinister Strange and the magic fight also, or the music fight.
We did actually. The music.
That was a
fight, yeah, we
wonderful
did that.
fucking shot. I saw somebody be like, "Oh, did he have a background in music?" And it's like, one of the first times you see him, he's like, "Oh yeah, it was this composer written in this year, yeah, off of like this work."
yeah.
Like he could tell you like basically
That's the
every
first
fucking
time-
statistic
that's-
of music for like most things.
That's the first time we see Strange with the third eye.
Yeah, the evil Strange has
yeah,
a fucking
that's
third
cool.
eye because like his universe is like dead
Which-
from an incursion.
Which that's part of the Darkhold, right?
Yeah,
No,
he was
that's
using the
just-
Darkhold. It was
Yeah,
like
he
it was.
using the Darkhold, but I think the third eye is just a magic thing.
It is a magic thing, but I think they were kind of implying it to be like
Okay.
somewhat of a curse.
Okay, so yeah, like before we get to like the final battle with Wanda, Strange and Sinister Strange do a little
Kill each
fight,
other.
and literally our Strange throws Sinister Strange, and he
It
lands on some
Hails
spikes.
him on the fucking fence,
So brutal, so brutal.
and then his third eye opens to scare America.
No, to scare
Oh no, it was Christine. Yeah, because
Christine,
America
yeah.
wasn't there. Yeah.
And then our Strange uses the Darkhold. That's when he dreamwalks into the dead body of the other
Mhm.
Strange. Yeah, that's right. But then okay, so now
Wanda's distraught and about to bring down the house and destroy
Wanda-
all of the Darkholds.
Wanda brings down the house. All right. Now we see a couple little things fall.
We see like an
in her
explosion of red.
vicinity. And then but see, here's the kicker, dude. Here's the kicker. We see it from the inside, and she's doing her fucking thing, and fucking brings, and we see a couple rocks falling from the camera. Then we go outside, then we're doing the long shot, and we see the whole thing start to come down, and then it gets really far down, like it's done. And then we see an explosion of red. Like it takes a few seconds. And so there's a disconnect from what we saw close up to what we saw long shot. And based on what we know of Wanda and what she's already survived, like when she was a kid with her brother, the initial bombing,
The chaos magic could have saved her from the rubble.
I think she's still alive.
There's
That's what
potential
I
for
think.
sure.
I think she's still alive.
We
I
have
think this was her redemption of like,
If we
I'm
don't-
sorry. Like if I fucking go out this way, this is the way I'd rather go out because there's no way in hell you're gonna accept me now.
if we don't see a dead body, they're not dead, as far as I'm concerned. and we did
Yeah.
not see a dead body.
And that's
fair.
that's with Marvel movies. They've had a long running tradition that I've often complained about of just killing their villains. And I
Mhm.
think this was the first time that they're like, nope.
Yeah, I think we'll be back. I think we'll now. I do think, yeah, I definitely. So okay, so yeah, let's.
So it's kind
Go
of
on.
different with her because at least you could like she's kind of somebody that you could kind of take both sides. Like you could
Yeah.
make her into something like the hero, or you could also like.
I mean, I think
continue on with
the
villain
next time we
stories.
see her, she'll have given up magic, or stopped using it at the very least. And it'll be like another like an incursion thing, like something like the next big event, the next big world ender that happens. They're gonna be like, "Yo, we need your help," and she's like, "Dude, the last like 3 times I've tried to help, I fucked everything up." They're like, "This is your chance. Like, we need you."
I like it.
Yeah,
I mean,
I see that.
so then
The X-Men are coming, please.
Wow, fingers crossed.
Yeah.
But yeah,
It's
so
5.
so then that all happens. Then Strange, Chavez and Wong are back at Camotage
She's trying to learn how to do the slinging
practicing.
thing.
Yeah, she's learning all the magical shit, and then Strange fixes his watch.
I love that scene. Him being like, "Yeah, me and Christine are
Yeah.
just not gonna happen. This is me giving the
Then-
past its due." You know.
But then Doctor Strange having a great normal day.
He's having a
You know,
jaunt down the street, bro.
It looks like he's about to go get some ice cream, and fucking gets into an intersection and starts screaming. And, the third eye opens, and the movie
This shit was
ends.
dope.
Now, okay, then the movie ends. Then we get the after credit scene where
Where he's just
what's her
jaunting
nuts-
down the street again, and then Clara,
name?
I want to say.
Claire, something like that. In the comics, she becomes his wife. She's a sorcerer supreme from another
Mhm.
universe. She becomes his wife in the comics. But she's like, "You caused an incursion," and then ripped a hole through space time,
Just
and they were
cuts
about
it
to
into
go
the dark
into
dimension.
the dark dimension. But I don't think that's where the incursion was coming from. I don't.
No,
because that
she's
doesn't
like
make any sense
the
at all,
daughter of
actually.
Dormammu sometimes. I don't know if that's actually what they're going to go with, but
But right before he walks into the dark dimension, his third eye opens up again, and he's just cool with it.
yeah, he's like, "Hell yeah, bro, let's do it."
That's what I had a problem with. I was like, why 4 seconds ago we just ended the movie with you screaming in the street because the third eye opened again. And
One
now,
last horror jump
and-
scare.
and now you're just cool with it.
One last horror jump
What's-
scare. It hurt like a bitch with that thing to open.
But what are we missing? No, come on.
Oh, there's
on.
probably a big chunk of what we're actually missing,
Yeah, there's
realistically.
something huge that we're missing.
I think that's to entice us to like the story thread of like, well, maybe they'll understand more of like what's going on with his third eye thing.
Yeah, like it's like I heard one theory. I heard one theory that the third eye is representative of the
Darkhold.
the Darkhold, and that now because when Sinister Strange got fucking spiked, and the third eye still opened, somehow it transferred into our Strange, and the Darkhold isn't necessarily the book, it's the soul of the book. And somewhere in between when we saw Strange freaking out in the street to the after credit scene, like Sinister Strange maybe possessed our Strange or something.
Like he's dream walking in that Strange.
Right. There's a dream walk situation or even a scroll situation. Like,
See,
yeah.
I honestly think they're gonna go with it being more or less like, since he's already read the Darkhold and like Strange is known to have a like perfect photographic memory, like I'm sure like he doesn't just forget that shit.
Oh, that's it. That's
we may
it.
have they may have destroyed Darkholds in every universe, but they didn't.
But there are
destroy the
at least
tower.
2 people that know it, like the back of their
And
hand.
The tower is still in every multiverse.
Oh no, 3 people because Agatha Harkness knows about it too.
But you also just said they destroyed the Book of Ashanti in every universe.
It was there was only the one. and
So-
like the precipice of all of the
But-
universes and that like weird little like broken place.
But what if there's something there too? Like, what if they both still exist somehow, but the Darkhold is in Strange, and maybe the Book of Ashanti is in somebody else or something? I don't know.
If there's another person that knows the Book of Ashanti, it's probably Ashanti. It's like
Or the fucking woman that showed up at the end.
yeah, there's a possibility of that too. Her having like a knowledge of it.
She is a sorcerer supreme from another universe.
Mhm.
That's what her character is. So
Yeah. Well, she comes from the dark dimension usually.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she's not
Oh.
Sorcerer's Supreme. She's Dormammu's like daughter / like other super gifted sorcerer.
Mhm.
Super. Okay. I thought she was sorcerer. Okay, so she.
No,
but
she's
she
just
is a-
like super gifted.
Okay,
Mhm.
but she is still a sorcerer like Strange.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. That makes more sense now. Then. All right. Either way,
Yeah.
come on. This
Right.
was awesome. This shit was the mad notes, yo.
It was dope, yeah. And then you get the fucking very end
Literally.
credit scene of Bruce beating himself up, and then it stops, and he goes, "It's over,
over."
it's over." He looks straight in the camera. He goes, "It's over."
They literally fought each other with music in this movie.
Yeah.
Dude, that
It is
music
the
fucking
Mad
scene
Notes.
was so good. I really loved it because like Sam Raimi had his DNA just like perfect for this kind of movie to just give like there's certain tones to like elevate certain scenes. I don't understand how people are like, "Oh, this is cheesy." It's like this is a
That's
Sam
the
Raimi
fucking
movie.
point.
You
Dude,
like
it's-
you wanted Sam Raimi Spider-Man so bad, but then when you get Sam Raimi actually doing something, it's like, oh, I don't know, man. It's like it's
No, I
comic book.
loved
It's
it.
like
I
what the
loved
fuck?
I like this one the same way I like Spider-Man 2. Like it just felt like it had that kind of like mix of like the dark kind of stuff, and then like the story was with it. Like I mean, there were certain points in the middle that kind of felt like they were kind of dragged a little bit, but to me it was like it was cool to kind of see his touch on things, especially after like kind of revisiting some of those movies and kind of remembering a bit of his directing style. It's cool to see a lot of his taste in it,
Mm-hmm.
or whatever you want to call it.
No, I loved every moment where I was like, oh, that's a little Sam Raimi song. Like
Yeah.
every moment of that, I was like, oh, I like that. I like
Little
I know-
Evil
I know.
Dead stuff.
Yeah, like all the little Evil Dead references, like because we're such gigantic fucking fans of that goddamn movie. Like,
Mm-hmm.
of course we're gonna pick up on all those references, and it's so cool to see the campiest, low budgetest, best horror movie ever made have references in the biggest budgetest, the biggest universe, the biggest cinematic thing ever made. Like it's so cool. It's like when it's like in Spider. I think no, it's like in Shang-Chi. I think it was when Stan Lee was sitting there reading the script to Mallrats. It's like, oh my
Captain
god.
Marvel.
Oh, Captain Marvel.
Yeah,
It's
when he
like,
was on
oh
the
my
bus.
god, Jane Silent Bob are in the MCU. Like it's that kind of thing. All these little fucking things that we love, all these campy little things that we love, have made it. You know what I mean?
Right. They're just like fucking
So it warms my heart. It warms
Pop
my heart
culture.
to see it every single fucking time. Like it just, yeah, it's all the things we love coming together. The only thing that makes it better is if they ever actually use an Amon Amarth song in a Thor movie or like something like that. You know what I
I feel
mean?
like we're getting there. Like we're
We're-
really
One
getting
day.
there.
I mean, we got Sweet Child of the Mind, so we're at least knocking on the door.
I would love Thor listening to Amon Amarth being like, "That's not how it happened.
Yeah, and make a joke about it. Yeah.
This is ridiculous."
he's like listening to the words. It's like, nah.
I
This
went
is
to
not-
Valhalla. Not accurate.
Dude, one thing
This is not
Yeah.
accurate.
Yeah.
Grips the snake firmly by its tongue, swings the hammer, then his work is done. No, I love snakes.
Dude.
And I defeated that one.
one thing that bums me out about this movie is that there was gonna be a Daniel Craig cameo.
Who?
He was gonna be Balder the Brave, Thor's half brother.
No way, really?
Yeah, he was gonna be a part of the Illuminati.
Oh,
And that's another thing.
see that would have, yeah,
There was an empty chair.
I'm gonna bring it up when we.
I think Mordo
was
is technically considered that.
Yeah.
No, he was sitting down. Everyone was seated, and there was still an empty chair.
Yeah.
Strange.
Yeah, I guess Strange would be the one.
You're right.
Yeah.
That is it. Yeah.
No, because that's one thing. Just real quick before we start wrapping up here is that the existence of Thor isn't really like harped upon or confirmed really in 838. They don't really talk about the Asgardians at all, and I don't know if that's just like there's so much going on. We're not going to be like, oh, and Thor was doing this at the time. But I'm the kind of guy that's like, okay, well, they're on Titan, and
He's Earth's mightiest hero.
They brought all of the Avengers of that world to Titan, to fight Thanos. And so where was Thor in that scene?
I'm sorry. Like, you bring Xavier and not Wolverine. I'm sorry. Like, where was Deadpool? Like, I'm sorry. Like,
I'm telling you, dude, they're saving the Deadpool cameo is gonna be super fucking unexpected.
It can't be too many cameos, because then it's just like them shoving things in, you know.
That's why they didn't.
Like,
and we gotta do in all these like they're probably not gonna have, like, as much as it pains me to say, because he's fucking the best. I don't see MCU having Stewart as their Xavier.
No, he's far too old to like keep going with that. So I mean, McAvoy would be cool, but we could also find somebody like.
We're gonna need all new ones.
Really hit it.
Everybody except for Deadpool.
Yeah,
we're gonna need all new ones.
No, I'm telling you, dude. When the Deadpool reference in Cameo first happens to bring Deadpool officially into our MCU, it's going to be so unexpected. And I'm sure it'll get leaked and spoiled months in advance.
Oh God, I hope not. I hope not. I want to be totally surprised.
I would love it to be like, what's the Sam Jackson one? Secret War or Secret Invasion?
Secret Invasion. The Skrull.
I would love there to just be a fight scene where they're like getting overwhelmed, and he just comes swinging through, slaughtering Skrulls with katanas, and like they let that be the one time they drop their F-bomb and let him like call Sam Jackson a bad motherfucker or something.
No, or he like help out, fucking slay a bunch of dudes and stuff, and then just be like, "You owe me a fucking Coke, Fury," and then he runs off and he's like,
"Oh, a fucking churro."
What is that?
Yeah, you owe me a fucking churro, Fury.
God damn it!
that whole scene really kind of took, because like I remember we had a pretty in-depth discussion about like who could have possibly like there's rumors that like, oh, this person's gonna be in this, like, because of all the multiverse stuff, and it was like, to me that scene when they showed them almost felt like a precursor to like what they were planning. Like, this is like, okay, like we got these, you know.
I feel like that was definitely dip the toe in. You guys cool with Krasinski actually being him, or
obviously we are.
This was obviously like also like just like a power test, you know, like this is how powerful fucking Wanda is. Get with it. She murders people. It's getting heavy.
But see, that's the thing is like we have Wanda, who's epically powerful. We got Thor, who's epically powerful. We got fucking Captain Marvel, who's epically powerful. And now we got to, it's when they eventually bring in the X-Men, we're gonna have to probably
deal with Omega level mutants and stuff.
Well, as annoying as it is, we're probably gonna have to deal with the Red Phoenix. Who's more powerful, Red Phoenix or Scarlet Witch? I don't know.
Dude, that's like, if they're gonna pull Phoenix out at any point, it needs to be its own like phase long.
That I agree. I agree.
And it's gonna have to be after the X-Men are already said. You can't introduce the X-Men with a Phoenix saga.
No,
not even close.
No, we had I don't even. Okay. To round things out, we already kind of summed up Strange. Real quick before we close out, Mike, I got it. Like, in your mind, in a world where we've already had the Phoenix Saga, you know, we've already seen all this shit on screen, introducing the X-Men into the MCU, you can't really start with the Phoenix Saga, and you can't really start with origin stories. Where do you start? How do you introduce the X-Men into the MCU?
I had a theory way back pre-Endgame, that either Infinity War or Endgame was going to end with the end credit scene of Tony Stark and Captain America pulling up in their super fancy car to Xavier's school for gifted children, and James McAvoy in the wheelchair coming out and then being like, Xavier, we need to talk. Like implying that they knew about these kids with the mutant powers and all that stuff
the whole time,
and that they were helping keep that secret so that the Sokovia Accords didn't fuck with them, and that it was going to be this whole tie-in thing.
All right,
they were going to introduce it. So
calm down, Mark Bernardin. Jesus.
So
you just wrote a better version.
Yeah, that's how what I wanted to happen, that be introduced. Now my next theory is that in Endgame, he says when Thanos used the stones, it was a burst of cosmic energy, the focal point being on Earth. And it's now been 5 years. I think we're going to get mutants after this phase. They're going to move stuff forward a few years so that the mutants are the people that were born, like, from the people that were pregnant when that burst of cosmic energy happened, and that's what causes the mutations to start.
Bang babies.
Yeah.
Oh,
sorry, that's a Static Shock reference.
So I feel like we're gonna go through the next phase, probably phase and a half, and we're gonna get towards 2030. And at that point, once you're at that point, the people that were alive, and again, those people were alive after the snap. So it's half the population. Assume a quarter of them were pregnant at the time. That gives you a very limited number of actual mutant babies that would be hitting 12, 13 years old around the time that we've gone through a phase or two. So now we're in 2030, 2031, and you get the teenagers as X-Men, not fucking already complete. You can have
X-Men Evolution.
But
fuck, dude.
That way we don't have to
high school X-Men.
You don't have to try to recast fucking Wolverine, Cyclops. You don't have to do that. You could bring in new ones and have them talk about, like, oh yeah, like my dad was a trucker up in Canada, like, you know, rough guy, and like have it like.
Well, no, they need to have like a first wave of mutants from something else,
and we have to have a Project X.
Oh, it'll be that
like they'll be like natural born mutants, but this caused an influx where like they couldn't hide any longer.
They'll like Wolverine, Cyclops, all them will have existed, but they are already old, and they were already like original mutants that hid themselves away during all of this, because they're like, I'm not putting myself in the middle of an alien invasion in New York because I can shoot laser beams out of my eyes. Every time I do it, I kill someone I love. So like, I'm going to hide away. Every time I bring these claws out, it brings me more pain than you can imagine. Like, so these original mutants have been there. They've just been hidden away. And the snap caused the cosmic energy burst that made all the babies, like, I have the X gene activate. That's where that's my theory on where we're getting where
me. I love that idea.
You gotta imagine, like, because there's definitely points where, I mean, you know, there's a lot of times where we go through like the Mutant Academy or whatever it's called. And,
yeah,
like,
we need to have Xavier's Academy and a Project X. Go on, Aaron. Sorry.
Yeah, no, that was what I was saying. Like, you know, I'd have to think that, you know, in order for it to make sense for them to take it that way, you know, you'd have to kind of lead in with, you know, like these are the ones that never really, you know, or that, like, I guess like more of like a big like origin story kind of deal without it being an actual origin story.
I think that's why we're gonna get like, hey, look, they've been here.
They would have to do so. Yeah, right. They would have to backlog it.
And that's the having the backdrop of the Sokovia Accords gives them reason to want to be hidden. Like,
maybe they saw the snap happen.
Hey, but
they were like, the Sokovia Accords was 2016, I think. So like 4 years after the Battle of Avengers. So again, assume that like 5 or 6 people in the world have had their X gene activate. Professor X maybe being one of them. So he knows what.
And Magneto.
I think it would I don't even think we'd have a Magneto in this situation, because they haven't had these big epic battles of like mutant rights and good brotherhood of mutants, evil mutants and shit.
Yeah, but he
Because
got
only
his
like
shit.
5 or 6 of them would have been born again, and that's
Well,
the
no,
thing,
because
like,
that's where
only
like
one-
the outing and stuff can come out and into play and stuff. So like mutants get outed, and then it turns into like a fucking like us against them kind of mentality from like a lot of different humans and stuff.
I'm saying up to current lore in the MCU, only a few people were born with the X gene throughout like history and shit like that. Like,
Magneto was activated in World War II.
but not in the MCU.
True.
So
But
in
the
this
World
one-
War II happened.
World
in
War
Right,
II
but
happened,
like we're
there
also
wasn't-
getting to the point where it's like World War II is such a long time ago for
World
them.
War-
So like
World War II
realistically, it's like
was-
would he even be alive at this point?
Yeah, no, it's
That's-
yeah.
That's
so,
a fair point. And his fucking children was the main character in this movie. Scarlet Witch is his kid.
Yeah,
It's
Ian
his
McKellen
daughter.
posted about it.
Like so yeah.
So-
we have some messes to clean up, that's for sure.
Well, it's not necessarily a mess. It's just that's assumptions coming from the comic books, and like the comics
that's
in the
lore.
MCU are so far diverged at this point.
True.
God damn it though, they're diverged, but son of a
There's
bitch.
like jumping off points and stuff. that
Yeah,
they
there
use.
it's think about Star Wars and the Legends versus, or Star Wars Legends versus like Star Wars canon, where
Uh-huh.
it's like those things are there, yes, for reference points, but by no means do they like have
Are
any
they-
real effect on
Right.
the MCU.
right.
Like I said, when we talked about Phase 2, or when we talked about Age of Ultron, when they first announced
Ultron's
that
back.
movie, when they first announced
Always
Age of Ultron back in the day, I went and read the Age of Ultron comics, and it starts out with Wolverine saving Spider-Man from a gang of thugs, and I was like, well, right off the bat, we don't get that.
right.
There's a whole scene where Punisher and Captain America like argue about handing over Spider-Man to save their own necks, and Captain America beats Punisher almost to death and leaves him in the middle of a sewer to save Spider-Man. Like,
And-
we're not getting that scene.
Even 100 in as far divergent as some things that we get, god damn it, do I love it when they do it perfect. Like that there's a shot, and there's a lot of fucking scenes in Moon Knight actually, but there's a shot in the Thor Love and Thunder trailer where they're
Looking at the
standing.
frozen beast.
It's
Yeah, that
it's
is
it's,
straight
It's literally the comic
literally-
panel.
It's literally a fucking
Yeah.
panel. It's
Um,
literally a
I hope that artist got
without
paid.
Korg. Without Korg. That's the only difference. Korg isn't there in the comic book panel. In the movie, he is.
And it's
That's the
Jane
only
Foster Thor, I
fucking
think.
difference. You think so?
In the comic panel.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because
In the
I'm pretty sure
comic
that's because she's the Almighty Thor.
right. So in the comic panel, the girl Thor is standing in front of that monster.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
No shit.
yeah, because she was the one that was taking on Gore the God Butcher in
Well,
the
she's
comic
not
book
friends with-
storyline.
I wonder how they're gonna do that then, because she's not friends with
It's
Korg.
like, no, dude, like that's what I'm saying is that
No, because
that's
like
not
normal
going
Thor
to
is going to be
stop
there,
the
but
shot.
like she is going to be a part of the storyline. In the
She's gonna be
comic
part of
books,
the
yeah, it
storyline.
was like her story. It was like her getting used to the power of Thor and
'Cause
then
she has
finding out
cancer.
that Gore was going around murdering gods.
She's almost got like her Thor power is almost like a Wolverine power, because the Wolverine's power is constantly fighting off his own
it's-
death.
well, it's
It just sets her back to like where she was before she turned into Thor. Whenever she turns back,
which is riddled with cancer.
hmm and yeah, it's like basically she's cured when she's
It's a-
Thor, but
it's a-
she's like it's the exact same.
And then as soon as she
like
goes
when-
back, she has to get back on chemo. Like it's like literally a unbelievably tragic storyline.
Uh-huh.
It's heartbreaking.
yeah. All right, we're pushing time here, guys.
We are. I think we summed that up pretty well. We got
Yeah.
Definitely.
yeah, we did good. We did good. I think we did good there.
Do we want to do a number score, or do we want to just say thumbs up, thumbs down?
Thumbs up, thumbs down. Everybody, thumbs up, thumbs down. Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness. Where are we at? 1, 2, 3. I'm going up.
Yeah,
You got
big time
more
up.
thumbs up. All right.
I absolutely love this movie for everything that it was, from Sam Raimi horror
Yep.
superhero movie down to the next steps in the MCU at large. I thoroughly enjoyed this movie.
I'm not gonna lie. I personally There's a few movies I've seen recently I liked more. I like Spider-Man more. I liked The Northman more than Doctor Strange, but I thought it was a great movie. It was very, very fun. And every single time I saw a Sam Raimi thing on it, it made me really happy. I love seeing Bruce Campbell. And I'm the only reason why I say that is because I almost feel like in a lot of ways, this in 5 or 10 years, when we look back on this movie, we might look at it as a kind of a filler to where this led to something bigger.
Mhm.
And so I'm really interested to see where this leads from here.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Like wondering to see like what its lingering like legacy will be.
Yeah.
Because yeah, I definitely really like this movie. Honestly, I like it a lot more than like most of the Marvel movies that have been coming out. Because like it doesn't need to like hold your hand and like give you like a big setup and stuff. It can basically just be like, here's the premise, let's go. If you don't know this character, then you haven't seen the last movie, or this is like not the place to jump in at. Like we have some of the easier stuff you can get into that like fucking snowballs into this stuff, but like yeah, it's nice to see something so cohesive in its own universe to like the point where like they can just be like, here you go, that's the story. You don't even need to fucking have the big reveals. Basically, it's just like, here you go, information done.
Yes.
But yeah, the Sam Raimi stuff in it, boom, love it. Fucking chef's kiss.
I think it called back to kind of your point is I kind of called back to some of the earlier stuff that I enjoyed about like the, you know, kind of when the comic book movies were kind of newer. Like it almost seemed like this was like in a lot of ways, I think that this is kind of a push in a different direction from where they were at versus like where they could go. And I think to kind of, you know, keep with like the Wanda story and kind of keep with you know, kind of making her the big, you know, one of the, you know, the main kind of villains and stuff in it was an interesting choice. But I think, yeah, I don't know, it's one of those that, especially after having this conversation, I want to see it again because there's so much that I feel like I missed. Yeah, I don't know, I really liked it. I want to see it again. And with this, I think that they could go in a lot of different directions with it, and I think it's a fresh take on where the MCU kind of is, and I don't know, it's pretty exciting.
It's good to see a bunch of people dying within the multiverse, you know, gentlemen. Just
Yeah,
like a festival full of murder,
It
but like in a
was a-
multiverse.
I'm sorry, but it was a bit of a multiverse murder fest.
Yeah,
Oh,
boy.
it's year 2 of the
For
Murder
our listeners
Fest.
on Spotify, this is the reveal. Hopefully, you've been following our social medias. You would have seen it by now. This is the official lead-in, guys, to the Multiverse Murder Fest.
It's back.
Back, 2022, man. We're doing it.
Yeah,
it's
it is
gonna
back.
become it's gonna become a
Back
thing.
again.
Got some hitters this round.
We
Bro.
absolutely do, man. I am so excited. Yeah, we've revealed the full bracket. Last week we're going through fight cards on our social media over the next couple of weeks, going over little previews of each match. Then by then I've already had some good social media interaction. A couple guys getting at me about how Cloud versus Jason Voorhees is no contest.
I beg to
They
differ,
might
but we're
be
gonna have to
surprised.
figure out which version of Jason we're working with.
Yep.
There are no rules as far as this goes. We make our rules for this.
So-
let's go on
Yeah,
with
bro,
it.
dice
yes.
roll.
So this time we're going to do it. We're doing it a little bit different. And we'll go over this again multiple times, I'm sure, during the series itself, but we're going to be doing a little thing I have come to call D20 Yahtzee, where each person is going to have 3 D20s. We're going to roll them. There's going to be multiple rounds in each fight. Rounds will be increasing in severity and size as the tournament goes on. But it'll be it's going to be truly random here for the first fights. You know, it's we're gonna do D20 Yahtzee, highest total wins the fight or wins the round. 3 rounds in the first round of the Multiverse Murder Fest here. It's then we're going to start arguing bonuses, and that's when we'll get into the fun stuff from last year of like explaining what the roles mean, trying to argue why Jason gets another bonus, or why Peacemaker gets a +10 on his next swing. We had a fantastic looking through the actual bracket itself. Let me see if I can throw that on here. Our
Who
listeners
ends
at
up
home
as
are
a-
going to have any really idea what I'm talking about here.
Yeah, audio listeners are just gonna have to deal with this for a minute.
Yep, you know what? This is the part where you you finish listening to the podcast, and then
Oh my
you go and
god.
watch the
What do you-
video.
Somebody ends
Oh
up
my
as a cyborg
bog.
hybrid. Again.
So I was looking. I'm going full like sportscaster here while I'm reading this. Here, let me get myself as a proper talking head. There we go.
What are they doing today, Cotton?
So I've been looking. So we've got all the matches that we've announced already. And we're going through those fight cards, you know, stuff like Michael Myers versus Sora, Predator versus Mace Windu. We got Ghostface versus Batman. Honestly,
I love that because I love both of those characters. So my inner turmoil is maxed out.
right. Some real stuff like Predator versus Mace Windu. That's a hard one for me. I love both those characters, and one of them dies in the first round. Same with where's the other one? We got Peacemaker versus Pyramid Head. Daredevil versus Leatherface. I love these. But in my time, I have been going through and looking at some of the exciting possible matchups going forward. And we've got stuff like a possibility of Sephiroth versus Cloud in the round 2 for a legacy match. Where was the other one?
For the ages.
Venom versus Spider-Man, possible round 2 matchup.
I love that.
What's that?
Sorry. Yeah, I was gonna make a joke. I was gonna say, is this like Tobey Maguire versus like
Tom
Topher
Hardy.
Grace?
That would
See,
be funny.
now
Venom, or
that
is
brings
it-
up the next good point that I want to bring up for this year's Multiverse Murder Fest is every time last year we were modifying and changing the versions of who was fighting based on what we wanted to happen. This time we are going to be deciding at the beginning of each fight, and we'll be locking in for the rest of the tournament which version of the character we're talking about here. Now, characters like Sephiroth, Cloud, Mace Windu, those all have one version basically. Like there's the one version of them out there. But there's characters, other ones like most of the comic book characters, Deathstroke, Spider-Man, Peacemaker. Peacemaker's kind of a one hit thing. Batman. There's a lot of characters that could
That's
have
not
multiple versions of
true.
them.
Peacemaker has multiple incarnations. He's just not very popular.
Okay, so that right there, we got to lock in at the beginning of each fight that we'll be locking in for the tournament which version of the character will be going forward or will be dying a horrible multiversal death. I'm real excited about doing this series, man. We're gonna have a lot of fun with this one, and so like make sure that everyone is following everyone. Our listeners, we're gonna do our best for the Spotify listeners to be as audio based as we can. But make sure you're heading over. We're gonna get the YouTube page, the Lost in the Bog YouTube page will be up soon, where we'll be doing all this stuff. That's where all this stuff's gonna end up. We're gonna have make sure you're following the Bog Talk and Lost in the Dark social media. Eventually there will be a Lost in the Bog social media to follow that'll have all the stuff on there. Make sure you're following all that and you're keeping up with this year's Multiverse Murder Fest. I'm real excited for this one.
I'm beyond excited, and big fucking shit is coming out of this.
Yes.
We have quite a lot in our back pockets right now that we have not announced.
The cauldron is a bubbling.
That we're still working out the details on, but we definitely come this summer we will have Multiverse Murder Fest Part 2, which is going to be fucking incredible. And then by the end of the summer, we're going to have some pretty big announcements for everybody that I'm very, very beyond excited about. I cannot tell you how excited I am. So lots to look forward to. Look at that Deadpool. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, dude.
Lots and lots to look forward to. Ash. Okay. Fuck me. I kind of hope the final round is Ash versus Deadpool.
Yeah,
That would be a hilarious fight.
That that would be a semifinals.
Oh,
Quarterfinals
They're on.
matchup.
Okay,
Yeah.
they're on. All right. That would be a great fight, though. I'm just saying. Yeah. All right. Be sure to follow all things Bog Talk Podcast, Lost in the Dark Podcast, all things Bog Wraith. Show coming up with the Convalescents and Necronomicon on Friday or Saturday, June 4th, at the Diesel Concert Lounge. Tickets available now. Be sure to hop on all things Bog Wraith to get tickets for that. All of us,
low.
literally everyone I know will be there. Like literally everyone I know. So like everybody be there. It's going to be a family affair. This is going to be a great party. It's going to be a fantastic time. June 4th at the Diesel Concert Lounge in Chesterfield, New Baltimore, Michigan. Featuring so many amazing bands, including
it's gonna be a blast, you guys. We got some special surprises in store for you.
Fuck yeah.
So
Stuff I don't even know about.
All right, guys. Yeah, thank you guys all so much for listening. I hope to see you at the show. Multiverse Murder Fest coming up.
Multiverse of Madness in the bag.
In the bag. It was such a big deal. We had to do it as a Lost in the Bog, man. So
It was so fun.
All right, everybody.
That's going to do it for this episode of Lost in the Bog podcast. Thank you all so much for joining us. And as always, all of us have so much more coming for you so very, very soon. But until next time, as always, raise your fucking horns and bang your goddamn heads. We love you all to death. Good night.
Good night.
Come the fuck on. Like, I can't get over how much fun I have with these guys every single time, which is why at the top of this, I said there might be some things coming in the future where there might be some more collaborations. There might be some more things changing. I'm not going to get into it. I can't reveal it all. We don't have all the plans yet. Just know that things are coming. And I really look forward to. I'm gonna work. I know I've said this before, and the things never came. All right, but I'm going to do it. I'm gonna do everything I can to make sure this stuff does. So, I really hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and I hope you have more. You want more from the four of us because we do have more coming. We have a massive special event coming up in June, right after their show. The Multiverse Murder Fest is coming back this year. Be sure to follow us all on all social medias to keep track. We've already announced it. More like lots and lots and lots has been announced already. So that's all definitely happening. And maybe we'll roll that into the launch of this next thing that we're talking about. So I hope you all enjoyed this episode of Lost in the Dog. I hope you all enjoyed this episode of Lost in the Bog podcast. And we will be coming at you. And I hope you all enjoyed fucking Doctor Strange as much as we did. I thought it was a really good movie. So I enjoyed it. I liked it a lot. So in any case, without further ado, as always, we have a lot more coming very, 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 very soon. But until then, I feel like y'all know what to do by now. Raise your fucking horns and bang your goddamn heads. We love you all to death. This has been Lost in the Bog. Good night. Lost in the Dark.